Visit Marcianos.com and sign up to view their special offers all year long. Delivery, carry out, or dine in, enjoy it anyway, because life is good at Marcianos. Bender Dental Care, located at 217 North McLean Boulevard in Elgin. Bender Dental wants everyone to be informed, appreciated, and cared for at all times. To prove it, they now offer a new patient exam for just $29. That includes consult, x-ray, exam, and cleaning. Let Bender Dental help you have healthy teeth and gums for a lifetime. Located at 217 North McLean Boulevard in Elgin. Visit BenderDentalCare.com. America's First Responders Fest, Saturday, September 7th at Panton Mill Park, South Elgin, Illinois. Join us Saturday, September 7th for America's First Responders Fest. The South Elgin event will pay tribute to veterans and all first responders. This year's event includes Rapid Response 5K and Fun Run starting at 10 a.m. The festival hours are 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. We'll have first responder stage tributes. There will be a classic car show from JP Car Shows. Live bands featuring Deacon Frost, Rick Lindy and the Wild Ones, Jimmy Nick, and the Junkyard Groove. We'll broadcast live right here on WRMN 1410 and at WRMN Radio on YouTube. There will be food and beverage trucks, kids' activities, and market-style vendor booths. For more information and updates leading up to the event, please visit afrfest.org. Again, that's Saturday, September 7th. For more information, visit afrfest.org. That's America's First Responders Fest, Saturday, September 7th at Panton Mill Park, South Elgin, Illinois.
Ever take your car through the auto emissions lane only to experience the sinking feeling that your car has failed the test? Don't fret. Let Meineke at 376 Sundown in South Elgin fix the problem for you. Meineke's mechanics will determine the exact problem with your vehicle and suggest necessary repairs with Meineke's diagnostic service. Pass that test with help from the trained Meineke technicians. Call today for your appointment. 847-888-9644. That's 847-888-9644. In the mood for some great barbecue but just don't have time to make it yourself? Carry out Coleman's Barbecue on Elgin's East Side at 79 Clock Tower. Coleman specializes in ribs, tips, chicken wings, seafood, and sandwiches with sides like coleslaw, potato salad, and dessert. Try Coleman's Exotic Mild Sauce. It's the bomb. You can also buy sauce in gallon or pint sizes. It's prepared just right. The Coleman's Way. Call 224-535-8153.
In the middle of the night, everything will be all right if you listen to Coast to Coast right here on WRMN, 7 days a week from midnight to 5 a.m. Each night on Coast to Coast, listeners are captivated by George Noory with discussions on news and current events, conspiracy theories, UFOs, life after death, and all things curious and unexplained. Coast to Coast, every night, midnight to 5 a.m. right here on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
6:09 on a Friday morning. Welcome to Studio 14 in downtown Elgin. It is time for the fabulous First Shift. I'm Marky B reporting. And here on this, the second day of August, we start the First Shift, as always, with our Pledge of Allegiance and our national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. welcome to the weekend from WRMN and from the Fox River Valley Media Network.
Welcome to the first shift, right here on the Voice of the Valley, WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM. Don't get that excited. I'm only introducing Marky B. Exactly. Featuring local news and sports, your Fox Valley forecast, and local traffic twice an hour at 15 and 45 minutes past. Timely interviews, a radio shopping show preview, milestones and memories, and born on dates of the lates and greats. Elgin trivia, and all of your phone calls, texts, and Facebook comments as part of the staff meeting. The First Shift is the most informative, entertaining, and interactive morning show in all of the Fox River Valley and beyond.
You liar!
Well, okay. At least it makes great background noise, whether you're at work, in the car, or at home. Whatever! Your host, Marky B, maintains an upbeat attitude every day despite the fact that he's saddled with an overall lack of talent, a delusioned ego, and false hope for a bright future.
Loser.
Yeah, he's pretty much a loser. But at least he tries. Welcome to Studio 14 in downtown Elgin for the first shift on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
.612 Friday morning here at WRMN. AM 1410, WRMN Radio on YouTube, and of course our Image 360 information line, open for your information-giving pleasure at 505-926-1410, 505-926-1410. It's time to kick in the weekend. Let's kick in the doors hard and barge on in. And have some fun and enjoy some life this weekend. We'll start by trying to enjoy the show. How about that? Take it 1 hour at a time. I'm Mark with you on a Friday morning, and Larry will be with me in a little while. That's right. Mark and Larry, two ordinary dudes hanging out between 7 and 9 today. Give us a call at 847-931-1410 during our show today. We'd love to hear from you. Oh, yes, we would. 847-931-1410. That's our phone number, and through all the changes, that remains our phone number here at WRMN. Larry's in, and Jake's is not in today, and so the two of us will take you through this terrific Friday morning. And as I said, you can join us as well. Tim Calderwood from the Schaumburg Boomers will join us in the 8:40 to 9 o'clock range. And I guess there's a few things we could talk about with Tim this morning. Some things starting to stir up in sports again. The Boomers themselves are starting to get to kind of the stretch run of the regular season, so we'll get an update on Schaumburg Boomers baseball as we enter the month of August. The Chicago Cubs actually won a thriller last night. I gave them a chance in the bottom of the ninth inning, and they rewarded me with a victory. Yes, I gave them a chance. It was about 9:30 when the game was going to the bottom of the ninth inning, and I usually don't care anymore. I cut the television off anyway. They've let me down too many times, but last night, for whatever reason, I thought, you know what, tomorrow's Friday. I can stretch my bedtime a few more minutes and just watch the bottom of the ninth inning. I was kind of enjoying watching baseball last night. And it looked like nothing was going to happen, and then Cody Bellinger hit a home run to make it 4-3. Base hit from Nico Horner, stole second base. Dansby Swanson comes through with a double to make it 4-4. And off the bench, my boy Superman Mike Tauchman came in as a pinch hitter for the punk Pete Crow Armstrong and drilled a dibble down the left field line that drove in the winning run. And the Cubs rallied with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth inning for what you would think would be a big victory that would be a turnaround point. But you know what? It's just a victory. Let's just leave it alone, leave it at that, and not get any hopes up. And I watched Mike Talkman being interviewed after his big hit. His teammates had ripped his shirt off, and so he was shirtless as he was interviewing Elise Menaker. And she asked him that question. She said, you know what, is this a big victory that could help the Cubs turn things around? I think they are tired of being asked that question. And so Talkman just said, you know what, we just need to play as hard as we can and do as well as we can for the next 2 months. Pretty standard and basic answer. And the right answer. 6:16 here at WRMN. So Sports Talk with Tim Calderwood this morning in the 840 segment. White Sox did not lose last night. They had the day off. Their 17-game losing streak goes into the weekend. And the Bears played their Hall of Fame game last night. And once I couldn't find it right away on my intricate television scenario situation that I have going on at the house, I just gave up and watched the Cubs instead, knowing that none of the Bears starters were going to be playing anyway. But they did win last night. The game got, I guess, suspended or canceled, not suspended, but just canceled at the end of the third quarter because of heavy thunderstorms in Canton, Ohio. But when the game was stopped, the Bears were ahead 21-17. You got a little football flavor last night. 6:17 here at WRMN. 9 o'clock this morning, Anna Lalley, the chief, will be here. Elgin Police Chief Anna Lalley. Her old man, other half, Jim Lalley, badge 245, ran past the radio station this morning. He was first on the Hawkers log at 5:55. Badge 245 ran by the radio station this morning. The chief probably won't be running by the radio station, but she will be here, appearing on her half-hour radio show from 9 until 9:30 today. I'm not sure what more there is to say about the murder-suicide on Raymond Street this week, except the fact that it's another in a line of these types of incidents that seem to be building up in Elgin this year. So I'm not sure if it's an Elgin issue, per se, or a domestic violence issue in general. But we can discuss that this morning a little bit between 9 and 9:30. And then Steve Thoren's in. Stevie T's got his Friday show, the Senior Community Spotlight Show, one of 2 shows that Steve does on Friday. He also hits you with his Friday music show from noon until 1 today. It's a part of Out to Lunch on a Friday. Matt is out period today, so I believe your boys Sonar and Bendemoni and Boquist are going to handle the primetime slot today from 3 until 6, the afternoon drive slot. It's a slot they'll be taking over permanently a week from Monday. And when their show, A Political Talk Show, a part of Fox Valley Afternoons, gets underway a week from Monday. We'll talk more about that. Maybe a little more today and in the coming week, next week, of course, as we get ready for some lineup changes here on the station. All right, it is 6:19 here at WRMN. So that's all coming up on the station this morning and today. Brian Kilmeade will be on today from 10 until noon, as he, for the current time, for the very brief time, has taken over for Leah on Fridays. Leah has retired, and a retirement party is tonight. And we hope to see you there. It's at the Elgin Public House this evening. The Elgin Public House at 219 East Chicago Street. We're going to have a little goodbye party for Leah tonight. Retirement party starts at 5:30 with appetizers served and a cash bar available. Come hang out with maybe some first shifters and maybe some radio shopping show listeners and maybe some other friends and family of Leah's and yours that want to come tonight at the Public House. Elgin Public House right here in downtown Elgin, beginning at 5:30. This hour on the show, we will have a little bit of news that I'll share with you. We'll get our staff meeting going. We'll check the Beehive Bar and Grill and see what the buzz is all about. Let's see. Early this morning inside the Beehive Bar and Grill, we have no nickname John. He's the king this morning. And it's International Beer Day. Today is International Beer Day.
Hell yeah.
And we'll see what bad joker pun that no nickname John has for us when we get into the comments in the Beehive Bar and Grill this morning. Good morning to the Big Boss Man. Big Boss Man's going to kick off our prayer scoreboard today, sending us 25 prayers. He says, good morning, Mark and Larry. Have a great weekend. And the Big Boss Man and Mrs. Boss Man, who celebrated a birthday yesterday, I believe will both be coming to the Elgin Public House for a little while tonight, so we'll see them there. "25 prayers on the prayer scoreboard from the Big Boss Man. Another way of reaching out to us is the Image 360 information line. That's right, Image 360 on Sundown. They have your custom signs and graphics solutions in South Elgin. Bold Solutions, exceptional support. Give Image 360 a try if you're looking for your custom signs and graphics needs. And they are the partner with us in our Image 360 information line, which is 505-926-1410. That's 505-926-1410. And this morning we have Linda Carter. She opened the office doors, of course, at 12:01 this morning. She says, "Good morning, Marky B, and happy Friday. Have a blessed day and a blessed weekend from LC." Linda Carter checking in this morning. 505-926-1410. Looks like David has sent a message to our information line today, so we'll see what you've got to say as our staff meeting gets underway with the call to action, brought to you by Comfort Keepers of Elgin. And the Bender Dental feel-good start to the day at about 7:05. A first responder hero story today for our Bender Dental feel-good start to the day. It's all coming up here on WRMN. We'll check the dumb daily holidays with no nickname John and me. Coming up in just a couple of moments. But first, let's delve into music history today. And boy, I don't know. My mind was all over the place when I was preparing music history today, so I just queued up a bunch of songs, and I don't even know where to start. I got more of the gentleman Jim Reeves, who we played on Larry Jones's show with myself on Wednesday. I got some Casey and the Sunshine Band. I think I'll save that for a little while later. Rick James queued up today. If we want to get our funky groove on, we can do that with Casey and the Sunshine Band and Rick James. If we want to go old school, I've got Martha and the Vandellas queued up, or the Four Tops. Old school Motown type hits from the 1960s. I guess what we'll do right now, though, is start from taking it back to the way back when with some Buddy Holly. He was in the news on this date in 1957. Touring with Clyde McPhatter, the Cadillacs, Edna McGriff, Otis Rush, Lee Andrews and the Hearts, Oscar and Oscar, the G-Clefs. That sounds interesting. The G-Clefs. Buddy Holly and the Crickets appeared at the Howard Theater in Washington, D.C., and they played this short little snippy song that you know and I hope that you love. That'll be the day.
Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave, you know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. Well, you give me all your loving and your dirty loving, all your hugs and kisses and your money too. Well, you know you love me, baby. Still you tell me maybe that someday, well, I'll be blue. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave, you know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. Cupid shot his dart, he shot it at your heart. So if we ever part, then I leave you. You sit and hold me and you tell me boldly that someday, well, I'll be through. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave, you know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. Well, that'll be the day. That'll be the day. That'll be the day. That'll be the day.
Are those crickets? Are those the crickets that play with Buddy Holly? Welcome to a Friday. That'll be the day. That'll be the day when I die. Today, let's live. Today, let's live, because you never know when will be the day that you die. Let's live for today, Friday, August 2nd. Larry Jones is here to stretch his vocal cords out with the ladies as they file in this morning. Gregarious Gina has opened the doors to the Sunshine Band. We'll see if Anna the Chairman, Director of Foreign Affairs, is here in just a few moments. We'll see what Friday has in store. All right, well, let's see. The Dumb Daily Holidays today, taking us into the bottom of the hour news break. Let's see what I have for Dumb Daily Holidays today. No Nickname John starts us off, letting us know that it's International Beer Day as we take it to the Beehive Bar and Grill. He's got a little bit of buzz for us. He was first when the bar opened this morning. No Nickname John was the first to come in, sat down in his usual chair, and he says, "Good morning, first shifters. It's International Beer Day. Hip hip hooray. My buddy thinks drinking beer makes him smarter," says No Nickname John. "But I personally don't think it makes my bud wiser." My buddy thinks drinking beer makes him smarter, but I personally don't think it makes my bud wiser.
Please be quiet.
This needs to stop now.
Shut up!
I think I'm only giving you a 6 on that one, No Nickname John. I believe you have room for improvement on that one. It's passable if a 6 out of 10 is passable, but it's not a classic. It's No Nickname John starting us off today with a bad joke of the day as we check into the dumb daily holidays of the day. Yes, it is International Beer Day. They got a few at the Elgin Public House. A few choices for you if you want to stop by and join us tonight for Leah's retirement party beginning at 5:30. It's National Ice Cream Sandwich Day. I'm not sure if that goes with beer too well, but it sounds good right now, an ice cream sandwich. I can eat ice cream for breakfast. We celebrate ice cream sandwiches in all their forms and flavors. They first appeared in the late 1890s in New York City. That's a fun fact.
Wow.
Yeah. Being sold by street vendors for a penny.
Wow.
They consisted of a thin quarter-inch layer of ice cream between 2 thin graham wafers. Shortly thereafter, or at least by 1905, they were being sold on the beaches of Atlantic City for the same price.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. There are many ice cream sandwich variations in the United States and around the world. The most common is made of an ice cream vanilla slab between 2 thin chocolate cookie layers that resemble a chocolate cake.
Wow.
The It's It ice cream sandwich originated in San Francisco in 1928 at the Playland at the Beach Amusement Park.
Wow.
Being invented by owner George Whitney.
No one cares!
You're right, I don't even care. You ever get one of those ice cream sandwiches that have the little yellow on the outside? Ooh! That's disgusting. That ruins the whole thing, man. But if you get a nice fresh-looking ice cream sandwich, it's very appetizing. Hey, it's World 4-Leaf Clover Day on this day where we're playing a little Irish music early in the morning time. 4-Leaf Clover Day. It doesn't say anything about it other than, show a picture of it basically, but I guess that's a lucky thing if you can find a 4-leaf clover and enjoy some Irish music and eat an ice cream sandwich while drinking an international beer. And there's your Dumb Daily Holidays today, right here on WRMN AM 1410 and WRMN Radio on YouTube. It is a Friday morning, the second day of August already. Are you ready to take on this month? Nose to the grindstone. It is a nose to the grindstone month for me, man. Every day counts. So much to do, so much going on. It's going to be a busy month as we get ready for America's First Responders Fest on September the 7th, and as we continue to localize our programming here at WRMN. A lot going on. Thanks for joining us for the first shift. And as we start this morning, we're sitting at 69 degrees, overcast skies here on a Friday, and WRMN news time is 6:33. It is the second day of August. Good morning.
With your AM 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Sky Rizzi. King County Clerk John A. Cunningham is calling for election judges for the November 5th general election. You earn $250 for serving. You can find details on the King County Clerk's website. In an update to a story that broke on Tuesday when two people were found dead following a shooting on Raymond Street in Elgin, police have now identified one victim as 47-year-old Gina Benfield. The investigation of the incident is ongoing. Mark your calendars for the annual Taste of Batavia and Block Party, which returns on September 1st. Join the city of Batavia downtown from 4 to 9 p.m. at the Peg Bond Center. $3 tastings of local flavors. The event is in conjunction with Batavia Main Street. With your AM 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk. Life hack. Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select a new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher end auto pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance, because giving you options is the right thing to do.
Oh yeah, like bringing brownies to a dinner party. But I never bring brownies with nuts, because not everyone likes nuts, so they wouldn't eat those brownies. And even people who do like nuts will still eat brownies without them. Why? Because they're brownies.
But still, it's the right thing to do. So compare rates with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you...
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN. At the Paris Olympics on Thursday, Katie Ledecky is now the most decorated American woman in Olympic history. She won a silver medal in the 4x200 meter relay. Another big win for Simone Biles. The American gymnast captured the gold in the all-around competition Thursday. She's just the third woman to earn the title multiple times and the first to do it in non-consecutive Olympic games. Team USA women's basketball beat Belgium 87-74 Thursday. It assures them a spot in next week's quarterfinals. Team USA men's basketball Group C action continues on Saturday when they take on Puerto Rico. The NFL preseason officially kicked off last night in Canton, Ohio. Chicago beat Houston 21-17 in a game that was shortened due to lightning and heavy rain.
Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive.
I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. we can get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we can take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk. Life hack. Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher end auto pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
Wow.
It talks fast, huh?
Wow.
Yeah, it's a fast talker. I just looked over at my cell phone and I see that Tony Cool has chimed in this morning to stamp the show. We'll officially get our staff meeting going with the call to action, call to order at 7:25 or so. But since I saw that, let's go ahead and stamp the show right now. Let's win this day, says Tony Cool. She says, have a great weekend to everybody. And she actually stamped it at straight up midnight. Tony Cool. It's the 145th staff meeting of the year, number 1102. Since we started counting all this nonsense about 5 years ago. Been a lot of nonsense in the last 5 years, I'll tell you. 6:38 here at WRMN. The word of the day, while I'm at it, while I'm looking at my cell phone, I do actually have a haiku, and I kind of like it, actually. As a matter of fact, using a word that I may never use again, but at least it's different. Blackhawks Brad, the word of the day, not a natural word that I would think you'd find yourself using in your vocabulary. Folderol. Folderol. Let's see. It sounds like something you'd put in your clothing so you get the wrinkles out or something. Folderol. But it's not that. It means mere nonsense, foolish talk, or ideas. Mere nonsense, foolish talk, or ideas. I have a haiku. I'll try to squeeze it in before the end of this hour. Let's win this day, says Blackhawks Brad. We can do it. It's Friday. Cubs cost me perhaps 20 minutes of sleep last night, but at least they rewarded me with a victory in dramatic style for the first time in a while. We'll take it one day at a time. Best wishes to all of our under the weather first shifters, says Blackhawks Brad. He says the American flag flies. He says the eagle flies over the fabulous Fox River, and he gives us a prayer. Yeah, I hope you're doing okay, CK. There's Downtown Jose walking up. He's on the Honkers log this morning. Anna the Chairman just walked up as well. We'll put them both down at 6:39. The Studio 14 Naked Eye Cam activated this morning at 5:35. I beat the train. There was a question as to whether I was going to make it or not as I was surging down Chicago Street. It's kind of downhill when you come towards downtown on Chicago Street. And I was rolling down about 5:28, 5:29. I thought, it's going to be close. Train usually comes about 5:31, 5:32. But I got the green light at Chicago Street and 31, and I was able to sail on through, no problem. I even stared down the train tracks as I went across and said, yep, gotcha. Train, I beat you. You're a loser.
Loser.
Yeah. 6:41 here at WRMN. I'm a winner and you're a loser.
Loser.
6:41 here at WRMN. All right, let's get into a little bit of news now. You heard from our news guy a few minutes ago. I guess they identified the woman who was killed in the murder-suicide. Gina Gina something, 47 years old. I'll have to see if I can get a name. Over on Raymond Street the other day during the murder-suicide. I'm not sure they've identified the shooter yet. Apparently not according to that story, but we'll see if there's any more information on that. Chief may have some information on that when she comes in this morning at 9 a.m. for Fridays with the Finest. In other news this morning, let's see what I have. A fire at one of my favorite places to eat. That's no fun. Nobody was hurt. That is the good news, but there was a fire on Wednesday night at Stockholm's Restaurant and Brewery in downtown Geneva. I've been on the radio shopping show for a long time. What a great, charming, yes, you can use the word charming for Stockholm's, I think. Quaint little charming place with great gumbo and homemade beers and old pictures of Geneva on the walls of downtown Geneva. An energetic owner, a nice wait staff. But now they're going to be off for a while because they had a fire. Nobody was hurt, but there was enough damage to shut them down for a while. The restaurant will remain closed as it suffered extensive damage, according to its Facebook page. The fire was in a piece of kitchen equipment in the basement of the building at 306 West State Street. Smoke came out of the second floor and also the roof. Another fire was found in the bathroom above the kitchen. The kitchen and areas above it were damaged by fire, heat, smoke, and water. On Stockholm's Facebook page, which I haven't checked out, but I'm just reading the story, the restaurant posted, "Things got a little heated last night, folks. They're trying to make light of the situation. Things got a little heated last night, folks." The Post also said the workers at the nearby Niche restaurant around the corner on South 3rd Street noticed smoke billowing from the exhaust hood, and that's when they notified the Stockholm staff. Stockholm's has been around since 2002, and there are quite a few downtown restaurants in Geneva, and a lot of them look pretty charming and quaint and all of that. I guess since I started going there because of the fact they were on the radio shopping show, I kind of got locked in on Stockholm's. And every time we go to Geneva, basically, or downtown Geneva, it's one of the reasons we go, to stop by at Stockholm's and have a cold beverage or have something to eat. But I guess not for a while. So our best wishes to their rebuild, and we'll keep you posted on what happens at Stockholm's Brew Pub in Geneva. Been on the radio shopping show for quite some time. Shop show, by the way, Saturdays right now on WRMN. We still have radio shopping available to you Saturdays. Join Matt tomorrow morning from 8 until 12. And the Redemption Center is open from 9 until 3 tomorrow. So come on by and see us here at 14 Douglas Avenue tomorrow, as our Redemption Center is open one day a week now on Saturdays from 9 until 3. All right, what time is it? It's crime time. Crime time. 6:45. Here at WRMN, one person injured, 5 in custody after a shooting in Antioch. This was early on Wednesday morning. Antioch police said 4 adults and a juvenile are in custody after the shooting, which was reported at about 12:45 a.m. near the Hillside Cemetery in Antioch. No suspects or victims were found after the initial reports of gunfire. But investigators recovered multiple spent casings. And with help from neighboring law enforcement agencies, police established a search perimeter and they found a blood trail. Police notified nearby hospitals that there could be a gunshot victim arriving. They were right. Advocate Condell Medical Center staff members soon reported that they had a 23-year-old man who had been shot in the arm. Yes, he got an unneeded shot in the arm. And because he checked into the hospital, they were onto the case. And they were able to identify some of the people that were involved. Detectives learned that two large groups had met in the area for a prearranged fist fight stemming from an outstanding dispute. They was fitting to throw down. But someone brought a gun to the fist fight, apparently. During the melee, several people began to shoot. I guess more than one person brought a gun to the fist fight. Later in the day, police secured a search warrant for a home on the 400 block of Illinois Route 173. Officers recovered multiple firearms and took a number of people into custody. Charges are pending. So there you have it. Antioch. A fist fight turned into a gunfight near the cemetery. How about that? And one person was shot and reported to the hospital, and they were able to bust all the rest of the people. 5 people in custody after this incident. More crime time? There's a perv amongst the Yankee rednecks. I know that's hard to believe, but there's a perv amongst the Yankee rednecks. A Grays Lake man who lives in a home where a family member runs a daycare is charged with possessing hundreds of sexually explicit photos and videos of children.
Loser.
You think? Jose Real, 52 years old, of the 1200 block of Chesterfield Lane, faces 3 counts of felony possession of child porn, children under 13. A Lake County judge yesterday ordered Real held in jail pending a detention hearing today. According to Lake County Sheriff's Deputy Chief Chris Cavelli, a busy man, an investigation began when detectives learned videos containing child porn were being downloaded and shared from the home on Chesterfield Lane.
Loser.
Jose Real.
Loser.
There's a couple of news stories for now. We could discuss a little bit with Larry Jones next hour. If we go back to crime time, the sad story of the Springfield cop. The sad story of the bad Springfield cop. Sean Grayson, who's in the news nationally for his apparent heinous decision to shoot Sonia Massey in Springfield back on July 6th. So we could talk about that some next hour. We haven't really talked much about that. I don't know how much there is to talk other than you wonder. The sheriff now of, I guess it's Sangamon County. Yeah, Jack Campbell he certainly has turned his back on Grayson. He says he was a rogue police officer and he was properly trained. That should have never happened. But maybe the mistake that the sheriff made, if he makes the decisions, was allowing Grayson to be a police officer in the first place. So that's what we could talk about with Larry Jones. Maybe next hour, and if you have any thoughts, you can give us a call at 847-931-1410 on that topic. We had an Elgin dog attack drama last week. I'm not sure what conversation we can squeeze out of this, but it involved a pit bull, I guess. And this was, I guess it happened maybe the day before I took my long weekend last weekend, so we never really talked about that much, but it's still on my agenda here. We could discuss that a little bit, if it's discussable. We have the legend of Long Common Parkway. Larry knows a lot about that. Maybe you do. We could talk about that during the show today, or whatever's on your mind at 847-931-1410. Let's take it to the chat room for a moment and the Beehive Bar and Grill. And we say good morning to the Soto family. Good morning, Mark, and the first shifters from Hector, Ninny Rose, Jeremiah, and Uncle Boom Boom in the house on a fabulous Friday morning. 3 prayers from the Soto family this morning. Becky Blue checks in. Hi, Becky Blue. Happy Friday, first shifters. Have an awesome day and a safe weekend with plenty of sunshine. Becky Blue trying to keep a positive attitude. She's going through some things, and we're going to arrange a benefit for Becky, and we'll have more details from Genius George in the coming days and weeks about our event coming up at the American Legion sometime in the next couple of months. For our friend, Becky Blue. Dennis D. Not So Young checking in. Good morning, first shifters. Have a great day and a safe weekend. Dennis D's been spending some nights out in his garage listening to Cubs baseball on the radio. That might have been where he was again last night. He doesn't cheer a lot as he sits by himself in his garage. He sits there, he listens to the Cubs lose most every night. They don't make much offensive noise, so it's kind of boring to listen to. But last night he got a rare, thrilling moment, as I did. I stayed up 20 minutes late, and we finally were rewarded with a 3-run, 2-out, bottom of the 9th inning rally. And it wasn't just a 3-run homer. It was an actual rally with several guys getting key hits. The Cubs are still buried in the National League Central, but that was a big win last night, at least. And I don't know about a big win, but a thrilling win in what's been a disappointing season so far. Started out with promise, it's faded away, and the Cubs are trying to hold on to hope. Wonderful, wonderful Wilma Cash checks in. Welcome to Friday. Be happy with Marky B and me, says the wonderful one. Hey, sounds good to me, Wilma. And she even says, what about our Cubs last night? Yeah. A thrilling come-from-behind win over the Cardinals. All right, 6:53 here at WRMN. We'll check the Image 360 information line a little bit next hour. But let's go ahead and finish this hour with a little song. How about the haiku first? The haiku from me to you, using Blackhawks Brad's word of the day. What was the word? Folderol. A weird word. It means mere nonsense, foolish talk or ideas. Folderol. Let's win this day, says Blackhawks Brad. Are you ready? Please repeat after me. No more folderol. No more empty promises. Time to deliver. No more folderol. No more empty promises. Time to deliver. You hear me? 6:54 here at WRMN AM 1410 and WRMN Radio on YouTube. All right, a lot went on this day in music history, and it left me guessing as to where to go with the music selections this morning. But how about we have a nice, easygoing rock song to take us into the top of the hour news. On this day in music history, Jackson Browne's name was mentioned, and I love me some Jackson Browne. Andy Fairweather Lowe, a Welsh singer, was born on this date in 1948. He actually had the #1 UK hit in 1969, If Paradise Is Half As Nice. I don't know that song. Maybe I'll cue it up for later in the show. As a solo artist, he scored the 1975 UK #6 single, Wide-Eyed and Legless. As a session guitarist, he has worked with Bob Dylan, Roger Waters, Eric Clapton, George Harrison, Elton John, Sheryl Crow, Ringo Starr, Bill Wyman, and my boy, Jackson Browne.
Between the darkness on the street and the houses filling up with light, between the stillness in my heart and the roar of the approaching night, somebody's calling after somebody, Somebody turns the corner out of sight, looking for somebody. Somewhere in the night. Tender is the night when you hold your baby tight. Tender, tender are the motions. Tender is the night. Between the life that we expected and the way it's always been, I can't walk back in again after the way we fight. Just outside, there are people laughing, living lives we used to lead, chasing down the love they need. Somewhere in the night, tender is the night, and the benediction of the neon light. Tender, tender are the hunters, tender is the night.
Discover the authentic taste of Italy at Massiano's Pizza and Pastaria of Elgin. There is one inexhaustible aspect of everyday life that never dulls, namely the simple pleasure of eating and drinking. Massiano's wants to make sure that this is the best part of your day. Visit Massianos.com and sign up to view their special offers all year long. Delivery, carry out, or dine in, enjoy it anyway, because life is good at Massiano's. Bender Dental Care, located at 217 North McLean Boulevard in Elgin. Bender Dental wants everyone to be informed, appreciated, and cared for at all times. To prove it, they now offer a new patient exam for just $29. That includes consult, x-ray, exam, and cleaning. Let Bender Dental help you have healthy teeth and gums for a lifetime. Located at 217 North McLean Boulevard in Elgin. Visit BenderDentalCare.com.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 7 o'clock.
With your AM 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Linzette's. Mark your calendars for the annual Taste of Batavia and Block Party, which returns on September 1st. Join the city of Batavia downtown from 4 to 9 p.m. at the Peg Bond Center. $3 tastings of local flavors. The event is in conjunction with Batavia Main Street. King County Clerk John A. Cunningham is calling for election judges for the November 5th general election. You can earn $250 for serving. You can find details on the King County Clerk's website. In an update to a story that broke on Tuesday when 2 people were found dead following a shooting on Raymond Street in Elgin, police have now identified one victim as 47-year-old Gina Benfield. The investigation of the incident is ongoing. With your AM 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Kernan.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk. Life hack. Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher end auto pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance, because giving you options is the right thing to do.
Oh yeah, like bringing brownies to a dinner party. But I never bring brownies with nuts, because not everyone likes nuts, so they wouldn't eat those brownies. And even people who do like nuts will still eat brownies without them. Why? Because they're brownies.
But still, it's the right thing to do. So compare rates with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you...
This is McGruff the Crime Dog, and I need you to help me take a bite out of crime. Counterfeit products are popping up everywhere. Fake sneakers, fake cosmetics, and even fake pills. Crooks are selling counterfeit versions of just about everything. Last year, billions of dollars worth of counterfeit products were sold in the U.S. Sure, it may seem like saving a few bucks on the things you want isn't a big deal, but counterfeits are usually made in unsafe conditions, potentially using hazardous and even lethal ingredients that could harm you and others. And the money you've paid, it goes right into the hands of criminals and may support child labor, drugs, and even gangs. Smells like big crime to me. So if you still think buying fake products is harmless, think again. And remember, if you don't know where the products came from, how could you know where the money goes? You're smart, buy smart. Go for real. Learn more at mcgruffpsa.org. This message is brought to you by the United States Patent and Trademark Office and the National Crime Prevention Council.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Talkman waits. Helsley deals. Line drive. This is a base hit down the left field line. Cubs are going to walk it off. Swanson scores. Cubs win.
The call on Cubs radio, 5-4 the win in comeback fashion at Wrigley Field over the Cardinals. Mike Tauchman, the hero, he doubled in Dansby Swanson as Chicago scored 3 times in the bottom half of the ninth to rally for the win. Down 4-2, Cody Bellinger hit a solo homer. Nico Horner singled and stole second. Swanson tied it with an RBI single. Then Tauchman pulled through for the winning hit. Rookie Mason Wynn hit a 2-run homer in the loss for the Cards. Nolan Arenado had an RBI single in a 3-run seventh. Paul Goldschmidt hit his 17th homer in the first, then added a single and a double.
Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive.
I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We can get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we can take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk. Life hack. Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher end auto pay enrollment. $25.
This is Larry Jones, and I'd like to talk to you about my bank, American Eagle Bank in South Elgin. Has your bank changed names in the last 10 years? Is your bank another faceless branch with headquarters in another city? Are you tired of earning next to nothing on your savings account or certificates of deposit, or does your personal banker treat you like a stranger? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you're ready for a new banking experience, and American Eagle is the place for you. American Eagle is a locally owned independent bank that's rooted in the community, and American Eagle customers are greeted by name and treated with the respect that they deserve. American Eagle has an innovative program, Eagle Savings, that teaches your children to save while earning prizes and rewards. American Eagle offers great rates on certificates of deposit. My bank is located in South Elgin on Randall Road between the Target and Caputo's and is open Monday through Saturday. Give them a call at 847-742-7400 and a real person will answer the phone. American Eagle Bank, a place where you matter.
Is it noon already? Take your lunch hour up a notch with Out to Lunch from 12 to 2 p.m. right here on WRMN 1410 AM. Unwind with the perfect blend of soothing sounds and lighthearted conversations that'll make every bite taste better. Whether you're in office or out on the town, let us serve up the best in radio company. Stream on the go with our app on Google and Apple. Because lunchtime is your time. Out to Lunch every day from 12 to 2 on WRMN 1410 AM, the talk of the town.
From morning coffee to your evening commute, WRMN 1410 AM is here for you, the faithful friend that brings you local news, timely topics, and the friendliest voices in the Valley. Stay informed, entertained, and engaged with our full lineup of shows, streaming all day, every day at WRMN1410.com or on the WRMN app. Wherever you are, we're right there with you. So why switch stations? Stick with the one that has it all. WRMN 1410 AM, your daily companion, your constant conversation.
Discover the authentic taste of Italy at Mazziano's Pizza and Pastaria at Route 20 and Nestler in Elgin. There is one true fact of everyday life that never dulls: the simple pleasure of eating great Italian food. At Mazziano's, they'll make sure your dinner or lunch will be the best part of your day. Whether you have a taste for pizza or any of Mazziano's homemade Italian recipes, like ravioli or lasagna, they can also cater your party. Enjoy it any way you like: delivery, carry out, or dine in. Visit Mazzianos.com. Keeping your car's coolant system in good shape with a regular flush is really important. Let the experts at Meineke Car Care Center at 376 Sundown Road in South Elgin remove your old coolant, preventing chemical buildups in your engine. Then they'll fill your entire system with new coolant to help your engine run smoothly and prevent rust and corrosion, increasing your engine's lifespan. To schedule your appointment, call 847-888-9644. 7:08. Here at WRMN, we're just about ready to welcome Larry Jones into the show. But before we do, let's start the hour by talking about the Bender Dental Feel-Good Start to the Day. The Feel-Good Start to the Day and the weekend is brought to you by Bender Dental, helping you start your day with a smile. Bender Dental. And I had a couple of stories to choose from when I was doing my research last night. They were both first responder related. One I can use next week because it pertains to a festival going on in Bartlett next weekend. The other I'll use today. A first responder hero story. Out of Lake County, sheriff's deputies are being credited with saving the life of a man who attempted to harm himself on Wednesday night. Deputies called to a home in unincorporated Gurnee at about 10:30 p.m. by the wife of a man who was in mental distress and threatened that he was going to hurt himself, according to a news story from the Lake County Sheriff's Office. The wife called 911 after the man went into a detached garage and locked the door. The first deputy to arrive forced entry to a locked side door of the garage and intervened in the man's attempt at self-harm. The man was treated by paramedics and taken to a hospital where he was breathing and had a pulse. I guess his life was saved. The sheriff's office advises anyone needing services or to speak with someone because they're stressed out, have high anxiety, or maybe suicidal thoughts. Text 988. That's 988. Lake County, first responders coming through in the clutch, and there's your feel-good start to the day, brought to you by Bender Dental, helping you start your day with a smile. It's 10 past 7 here at WRMN AM 1410 and WRMN Radio on YouTube on a Friday morning, and it's time to get it going. We start with Casey and the Sunshine Band here on a Friday morning on the first shift. And I didn't have Larry Jones on cam, and that was probably a good thing. He was stumbling and bumbling around over here trying to get his equipment set up properly.
Yeah.
Do a little dance. Anna the Truman's here. So is Gina, and they have coffee delivery on a Friday morning. CK's doing fine, by the way. She's out of the hospital, and she is back home. And I guess resting for the weekend, and we'll see CK back on Monday. Larry Jones, local legend Larry Jones, joining me, radio's Marky B, here in the 7 o'clock hour on a fabulous Friday. Hi, Larry.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Casey and the Sunshine Band starting us off. For all the wrong reasons, Larry.
It's starting us off for all the wrong reasons?
Well, I'm playing the song, which is a good Friday morning song. Yeah. But it's because Jerome Smith from Casey and the Sunshine Band died on this day in 2000.
Oh, okay.
After being crushed by a bulldozer.
I saw that he was running.
Yeah, he was operating the bulldozer. Yeah. I guess his music career had taken a turn, and he had gone into bulldozing, or maybe he was just doing something at his house and
maybe
needed a bulldozer.
Yeah.
Thought he could do it himself.
Mm-hmm. I mean, probably thinking, how hard could it be?
Turn the key, turn it on, put it in gear.
That's all it takes.
Yeah. And somehow he got under it, I guess, and crushed by it. He had the 1975 number one song, Get Down Tonight. A disco-ish kind of song to get us started today. It's 7:12. It's a Friday morning here at WRMN. And we're getting ready for the big weekend that lies ahead. And a lot going on. A couple of car shows this weekend. One tomorrow at the Gilbert's Eagles Club. And then the one Sunday here in downtown Elgin, put on by our friend, the Cars are John Polero.
Right.
And that's going to be at just north of Festival Park. And you're going to try to hit that one, right? That's on Sunday?
I think it's going to be down on the Riverside deck and then into that parking lot as well.
So it's actually going to be in the parking deck?
It is.
Oh, okay.
And then the parking lot as well, but the deck too.
Downtown Elgin, you participated in that last year, didn't you?
Yeah, I've done it a couple of years, I think.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's on Sunday.
I'm going to go to that. Maybe I'll go out to Gilbert's, but maybe not. 2 days, a lot of cars.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I'm thinking about going to the Gilbert's one. Because I think of the 2 days, I would rather be at home a little bit more on Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, than Saturday.
How come?
I don't know. I like Sundays being at home a little more. I think I also heard, if I'm thinking correctly, that maybe Deacon Frost is playing somewhere on Sunday, but...
So you won't be home.
Well, I don't follow them.
Unless they're on your deck, you won't be home.
No, I think, I don't know.
Okay.
But Gilbert's Eagles Club, I like the setting out there.
Uh-huh.
And we did buy a little blue tent thing that we could, if we're going to bring the van there, we could put the little tent out front. So if it's hot and sunny, because you said there's not much sun out there.
There's not much shade there at all. Now, if I can, John Polero had, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I might get up Sunday and say, I'm going. I don't know.
You mean tomorrow?
No. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might get up tomorrow and say, I'm going to go. We'll see.
Right. Well, John's going to be a judge in that one.
Yeah, I know.
Tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So $20. Registration starts at 9:30, and the car show goes until 3.
At the
At the Eagles Club.
Eagles Club, yeah.
And that's on Raymond. It's on Gilbert's version of Raymond Street. It's a little different than Elgin's version.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Off of Tyrell Road. So it's 7:15 on a Friday morning. I think the weather this weekend is going to be pretty nice.
Looks like it.
Yeah. The rain that we've had off and on throughout the week, I think is going to be out of here. I haven't even checked the forecast yet today. So let's see. Today, a chance of showers and thunderstorms this morning. Partly sunny with a high of 85. Tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 67. And then for tomorrow, sunshine with a high of 88. And no mention of rain, but at 88, it will be hot. Clear skies and 65 tomorrow night. And then Sunday, mostly sunny with a high of 87. So, like it on the hot side and the sunny side, this weekend looks like it's made for you.
That's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Lots of rain this week again. Last night you had a round in Huntley, and we had a round here in Elgin, right?
Yeah, we had a couple of rounds, but The later one, I don't know what time it was, but it might have been around 9 o'clock even. But it really poured. It was almost like a Florida rain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, the drops were like big drops. It was just pouring.
Came around cooking decision-making time last night for us. At about 6 or so, I think. It was a decision on whether to fire up the grill to make pork chops or just make the pork chops inside.
It rained out there earlier, maybe about the same time, Mark, maybe. But then later on, when I was watching the preseason game, then it came back again with big rain.
Yeah. Well,
it'll make the crops grow, Mark.
Yeah. It's making the jalapenos grow outside. I got about 4 or 5 new ones.
Really?
Are
they good?
Yeah, they're good.
Are they?
It looks like a couple of Anna the Sherman's tomatoes are coming up now, too. So
wow.
We're going to start a new trend out here on Douglas Avenue.
Maybe so.
These little boxes that have trees in them need shrubbery around it. We've decided to plant vegetables this year, and it's kind of working.
Kind of.
Yeah. Lots of rain throughout the summer this summertime, but it's been okay. I never feared last night was going to become tornadic, though. Did you? It seemed like it didn't have that tornadic feel.
No, it didn't have that feel. Although, the weather people, they mention one little thing about, there is nothing, but it could spawn. They always have to plant the seed.
Yeah.
You need to stay with us in case.
Of course.
I don't need to.
And they also got to just throw that caveat out there, just in case it does happen, and if they didn't, they would look silly.
I know.
For not even throwing that chance there could be a tornado in there.
You're right. Well, no Jakes today, buddy.
Yeah. I know. You see him. You've mentioned his name a couple of times.
2 weeks in a row.
I know.
Yeah.
He's holding out. He and Jordan Love.
Yeah, right.
Is Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers, has he been around long enough to be a holdout kind of guy already?
I don't think you have to be around. I don't think it's built on showing you can do well a lot. I think now if you do well once, you're back at the trough.
Looking for more money.
Looking for more. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We were surfing around last night, and I wasn't really motivated to do much at the house about 7. So I decided, I'm just going to get my stuff ready and watch some sports tonight for a little while. And so got the TV on, and we don't have cable, so we got to kind of search around a little bit to find things. And I didn't find the Bears really as easily as I was hoping. I thought they were on Fox, which was a mistake. Yeah. So we went to Fox. But we have like Fox News and stuff, and I couldn't find the local real Fox. It was like Fox News, and I was like, you know what? This is getting aggravating. Let me see if I can put the Cubs on instead. Well, I know I have Marky, so I can get the Cubs.
Right.
So I put the Cubs on, and then I thought, well, I'll try to find, maybe at the end of the inning, I'll go back and try to find the Bears game or something. And then I started liking to watch baseball, so I just kind of stuck with the Cubs last night. I mean, the Bears game meant nothing.
Wow.
It was just football. But
just football?
Well, I know. We're all kind of jonesing for some football, but but none of those players. I mean, you said the tight end looked good for the Bears last night.
Yeah, and I can't think of his name. And he wasn't like a rookie, though. I think he's somebody they picked up. He'd been with some other teams. Number 80. I don't know his name.
Yeah.
I hate that we're at that time of the year where you don't really know, except their number 3 quarterback. It's like Ripien, something like that.
Brett Rippon, who I believe is the son of Mark Rippon.
That's what I wondered about when I saw the name on the back of his jersey.
Not a lot of Rippons running around, and happen to be NFL quarterbacks too.
Well, I got to tell you, now I'm not carrying on because one good game, unlike with Jordan Love, one good game doesn't mean that much to me. But he's very quiet. He kind of has a quiet confidence to him that makes you feel good with him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he's considered to be the 3rd string quarterback?
Well, that's who came out after...
Did Bajent start?
He did start.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Bajent starts the year.
Then Rippon?
As the number 2 quarterback.
Yeah.
Unless he, loses the number 2 gig to Rippon. I mean...
That could happen.
Rippon's a little more... Rippon's been with the Denver Broncos.
Oh, I didn't know. See that? That's why I need you with this.
Yeah.
Work. I don't know that stuff.
But so he's got NFL heritage, I guess, in his family from his dad being with the Redskins.
Yeah.
And Did Mark Rippon take the Redskins to the Super Bowl? I think he might have done that.
He may have, because if not, I don't know why his name would be that so on my mind when I saw that, when I saw it on the jersey. Yeah.
Mark Rippon wasn't a bad quarterback. So, I mean, good. So maybe the Bears have 3 serviceable quarterbacks. We'll see what Caleb Williams has, but with an unknown commodity and the fact that injuries happen at the quarterback position all the time, you got to have some backups.
There's not a lot of teams that their starting quarterback goes end to end in the season.
Yeah.
You know, they have to be out sometime.
And I heard that receiver looked good. Johnson, that's who the Daily Herald were flaunting this morning, a guy by the name of Colin Johnson. No, that's number 80.
Oh, okay. So he's just a wide receiver?
Yeah.
Because he's so big, I thought he was a tight end.
Oh, no.
I mean, he's tall, but he's...
a big guy, too?
He's big.
Huh.
Yeah, has great hands, and can he get up in the air? I mean, the guy who was guarding him, and Troy and Joe were talking about, it's good defense. You can't defend what's happening. You know, the guy's he goes up, the ball's perfectly thrown. He catches the ball about a foot over the defensive back's head. What is he going to do?
Wow.
Yeah.
So he's been around the NFL some?
I thought, though. Who knows? I don't know.
26-year-old receiver.
Well, he's 26, so.
Yeah. He caught 3 passes for 56 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And he had one that another pass, a good catch that they ended up saying he didn't control the ball. That he came down and it kind of jarred loose on the way down.
Oh.
Yeah.
26 years old. He was on the Bears practice squad for much of last season. So there you go. Well, maybe this guy will make the team.
He might. I didn't see much from, like, Scott, although I think I saw him, So we'll see.
Yeah.
I think the first 3 receivers are set, but there's always room for another, especially another big body.
And that's why these preseason games are meaningful to certain people, especially guys like Colin Johnson, who's trying to make the team.
Well, I was talking to Jose out there. We were talking football when everybody went to get coffee.
Yeah.
And, we were talking about that, the fact it's important to him. Maybe there's not room for him on the Bears, but, every team watches these preseason games. They look at the film. Somebody else might look up and, he's really out showing here's where's for every team who might need a big receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Bears got a victory last night, if that matters, 21-17.
A game that was called.
Right.
Yeah, a game
because of thunderstorms and rain and stuff.
Yeah. And it was really raining there too.
So while you were doing that, I was focusing on the Cubs last night. I was in the mood to watch some baseball.
Yeah.
And they blew a 2-1 lead, fell behind 4-2. Dude for the Cardinals, Mason Wynn hit a 2-run homer into the basket to put the Cardinals ahead off of Imanaga, and that knocked him out of the game. So it was 4-2 going to the bottom of the 9th inning. 2 outs, nobody on. Looks like the Cubs were going flat. They're going to lose the first game of the series to St. Louis, and they come alive. Bellinger hits a home run into the basket himself. I'm not sure if it was the basket, but he hit a home run. Make it 4-3, and then Horner with a nice solid base hit up the middle. And this was against the Cardinals relief pitcher who had 33 saves and 35 tries this year.
Oh, wow.
And threw 100 miles an hour. Horner got a base hit. Then he stole second base. Then Swanson came through with 2 strikes and doubled down the left field line to drive in the tying run. And then they brought in Mike Tauchman, my boy, to pinch hit for Pete Crow Armstrong, the punk. And 2 strikes on Tauchman. Laces one down the left field line for a game-winning double. Bottom of the 9th, the Cubs rally from 2 outs, nobody on, to win 5-4.
Right.
It's been a frustrating, long roll for the Cubs, but at least they had one thrilling victory last night. We'll just leave it alone at 1 win right now.
Right now. Yeah.
But a nice way to start the weekend against the Cardinals.
I know. You see my friend Eloy, he's gone.
Right.
To Baltimore.
Did he do something for Baltimore?
No.
Oh.
I heard, though, on the way in, before you even were really going, that the White Sox also had to give Baltimore $4 million.
To take him?
Yeah.
Did we get some prospects from the Orioles, though?
Maybe some
middle-of-the-road guys?
Maybe just some cap space. I don't know. I don't know who they got in that deal, but whatever they got, how'd you like to do that? Well, you think, well, somebody wants me. Yeah, with $4 million. You know.
But he gets to go to a first-place team from a last-place horrible team.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. So I wouldn't blame anybody for wanting to get away from there. I can't. I know they get paid to go there, but you grow. If you played baseball your whole life like they have, the idea that you have to go in every day and you're not going to win, I don't know how you keep doing that. Pretty soon, I mean, they would be saying, "Will you quit?" Well, the team quit a long time ago. I finally just caught on to the trend.
I know.
Yeah.
So they've let go of some of the middle-of-the-road players they had that other teams wanted.
Yeah, Kopech, I think they said, struck out the side last night for L.A.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Tommy Pham was the left fielder for the Cardinals last night.
I like him.
How did he get away? He used to be on the Cardinals.
I know.
And he was a pretty good player.
I know.
So how was he with nobody and the White Sox were able to sign him?
I have no idea.
In the middle of the season.
And how did they not get more out of him? I don't.
And then the Cardinals wanted him back.
I know. Yeah. I liked him. I always thought he brought a certain spark, and he had some veteran in him, which I kind of, not that I don't like young guys that have spark, but it's nice to have veterans that show a little of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had, I got to give him credit because he's the one who said it. Craig Pierce with South Elgin was in here yesterday to talk about their neighborhood night out next Tuesday.
Okay.
And I was talking to him on the air, and he's a big White Sox guy and a sports guy. So we usually talk sports for a couple minutes before we get to the South Elgin stuff.
Right.
And Craig told me, and he's a stats guy too. And so he sometimes tells me things that I'm like, wow, that's cool that you know that. Do you know that if the Chicago White Sox took their 2 losing streaks away, 14 games in a row, and their current 17-game losing streak, took them off their record, they would still have the worst winning percentage in Major League Baseball this year.
Well, that's a little nugget that's heartbreaking, isn't it?
If they took those 31 losses off their record that they've had during 2 losing streaks, their winning percentage would still be, they'd be like 27-53, which would still be like a 33% winning percentage.
The radio guys this morning were saying there's a lot of talk that Pedro Gaffol is going to be let go this week.
Really?
What would make this be the week that you think, all right, Pedro, it's just not working? You know what I mean?
We give you every chance in the world.
It's just not working. Really? Well, do you guys watch the games? Do you check the papers? Do you listen to WRMN? Apparently not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I were him, I would be. It's like when you're a starter and you're just getting the crap kicked out of you, and you keep looking at the bullpen wondering, when are they coming out? If I was Pedro, I would be, when they call him in, I would say, where have you been?
Yeah.
I've been looking for you a long time. Where have you been?
If ever a manager would be relieved to lose his job.
How do you do that? You know what I mean?
I mean, what is he really thinking right now? Is he probably hoping he gets fired every day?
Yeah, although maybe he wants the money.
Yeah.
Although he's got a contract. If they fire him, they got to honor it anyway. If he quits, he wouldn't.
Yeah.
So maybe, yeah.
It was just a 2-year contract to start with, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Yeah.
So he'll be done after. No matter what, he was going to be done. It was
right. You can't bring him back after a season like this.
It's another one of the White Sox kind of hires. They have this circle of comfort that they just don't want to go out of. You know what I mean? Whether it's the general manager, whatever. They just want to stay in their comfort zone. And Pedro apparently was in their comfort zone. Or Tony La Russa liked him. I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, it was a weird hire in the first place.
I know.
Assistant coach for the Kansas City Royals.
I know.
Not that it was a bad hire because...
No, I think he's a likable guy. I don't know. I'm not sure that we've had a chance to see whether he had any managerial ability. I don't know with this team. I think you'd have to be
given a bad apple in the first place,
right?
right?
You'd have to be a magician. You don't need to be a manager. I don't know. I'm a little down on him right now, Mark. I'm thinking about calling the White... Not Pedro.
Oh.
I'm thinking about calling the White Sox in and firing him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who would? I mean, they would just give it to an assistant coach for the rest of the season.
Oh, they
If
could always
were-
bring Tony back again.
They wouldn't hire a new manager from outside.
I hope not.
At this point.
I hope not. But there's got to be somebody that would come to bring Ozzy back out of the booth. Or
Yes. If you're going to do something earth-shattering,
just let him come down and run for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'd even do it. I don't know if
because Ozzy knows he couldn't win with this group.
I know, and I don't think you'd want that to be your legacy either. You know?
Unless Ozzy knew he was going to get the job next year if he took the job for the last 50 games this year.
But he'd have to have a commitment to make improvements. He'd have to have a commitment. Because I don't know that much about what they've got during their fire sale, but I haven't heard one player they got where everybody's going, there's our future, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of those guys they gave up were worth a guy that is going to be the future.
Now, again, I hate to keep quoting sports radio, but I do enjoy it. They said there was no top 100 prospect that got moved in the league during this time.
Oh.
Not a top 100 prospect.
I thought it was interesting. I know we're talking a ton of sports here, but
you got
and then we got
calls?
Calderwood coming up. No.
And then they get what they get.
Yeah, call us.
Yeah, if you want us to talk about something else.
I haven't seen.
I don't like to have a tough love approach, but sometimes we have to.
Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe it's just because I haven't given the phone number yet. They don't know the phone number, Larry. How can they call us?
You know what? I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
So it's our fault.
It's our fault, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
It's 847-931-1410 if you want to call us today.
And you better. Now.
Because I'm about to analyze the Cubs even further.
You know that. Now, you know the number. Now it's your fault.
847-931-1410.
Anna gave us these snacks, but I can't eat them. 2 reasons.
Yeah.
One, they
We're
make
talking.
too much noise.
Yeah.
And 2, I'll leave Anna, my friend Anna, a messy workplace.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that to her. Our relationship is built on me not doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys have built a strong relationship now, and she used to complain about your crumbs a little bit.
Yeah, now I can't do it because we're such friends.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say that, on one more sports thought. So the Cubs have a new third baseman.
Yeah.
His name is, it looks like Isaac, but they say, I don't know.
Isaac?
Something like that,
Yeah.
Isaac Paredes, and they got him from Tampa Bay, and he was on the All-Star team.
Yeah.
And so I've watched him 2 games now. He's kind of a chunky, powerful-looking guy who plays third base.
Is he a good third baseman? Do you feel better with him at third than Morrell?
Apparently he's, oh, yeah. Well, of course.
Yeah, I'm just
well, now we don't have to play revolving doors. They've committed the third base position to him.
Yeah.
Which, that's good. So now the Cubs have an infield that they know who the 4 guys are.
Which is nice.
Day in and
Get
day
used
out.
to each other.
Pretty much the same thing with their outfield.
Did they move Lopez to short, or is he still playing second?
Well, he's on the White Sox.
Oh, God. You know what? I should have just stayed home today. You know that? I'm just sitting here talking about stuff. Never mind.
That's all right.
No. Listen, I'm going to set the alarm for 9 because I don't want to oversleep and be here. Make sure I'm up and leaving when it's over, okay?
Let's take the phone call.
We have a phone call?
Yes. Someone has reacted.
Okay.
They want to turn baseball talk around and take it somewhere else. They want to take it back to talk.
I told you outside when I was brokenhearted that Jakes wasn't here.
Yeah.
I told you I'm not really up for this. So
Okay.
all right.
847-931-1410. Good morning. Welcome to the first shift.
Hey, good morning. This is Joel.
Joel, how you
Joel.
doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How you guys doing?
Well, Mark's doing good.
I'm fine.
Yeah. Anyway, the reason I'm calling is you were talking about cars, and a lot of accidents and fatalities are due to speeding.
Yeah.
What do you think about that Dodge Hornet commercial where you got that kid flooring a Dodge Hornet? I just can't believe that they would actually put something like that as a commercial. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen it.
I have. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. I don't know.
What do you think, Larry?
Well, you know what? I never really think. I mean, I agreed when they took smoking commercials off the air. I don't know. I think there's just a disregard for the traffic laws now, Joel. I just think there's just an utter disregard for the traffic laws. So I'm not sure.
Did COVID start it up?
No. I saw that in the paper.
Yeah.
I think it goes back further than that. I always say that it just goes once. There's always like this philosophy about traffic laws that if you have traffic like signals in the wrong place. If you do things wrong, it actually promotes disregarding them. And I go way back to when Jimmy Carter put the national 55-mile-an-hour speed limit in place, even on the interstates. Can you imagine, Mark, going on your vacation and not supposed to go over 55 when you're on I-80 going west?
Yeah.
It made it people all of a sudden had CB radios. People were like working on ways to avoid, and even though they raised it back, I think in people's mind, and then as drivers grew up during that time, they just think, well, that's a suggestion. That's
right.
all it is. Yeah. And it becomes the minimum. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's the minimum. I think it's strange there are more and more commercials with people driving bad. I agree with you, but I don't know if people get the idea from that.
I think that COVID did even maybe help take it to the next level.
Because the streets had nobody on them?
Not only that, but the police weren't pulling people. I don't think police were being as a...
They're not now.
They're still not, is what you're saying. I don't... You know what? That's true.
Yeah.
I think that people fear less being pulled over now.
Yeah.
And that's why they drive faster.
When I read the article about that, the state police were quick to talk about how, I think it was the tollway too, about speed being in the top three things that lead to fatalities. But nobody ever came up and said, but we are enforcing at the same here's our numbers through this time this year compared to blah, blah. Nobody ever brought stats out to say, we're doing the same job. I never saw that. And they have that available. The state police could come up.
Yeah.
A couple of keystrokes, they could tell you how their enforcement's going. I don't think so.
I'm not a speeder.
Yeah.
But I don't fear like being pulled over as much as I used to. Mm-hmm. So maybe even the lack of fear has gotten into me a little bit.
Yeah. I think there's also less of a police presence. I think. I mean, out on the highways, less of a police presence. Yeah. So.
Well, one other thing I'd like to mention is those flashing yellow, red, or yellow turn signals. You get that flashing yellow arrow, which means it's okay to turn if nobody's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was that way without that signal. I'd like to know who makes those machines. And what people in our government agreed to that, because that's a waste of money. Illinois doesn't have money to throw around like that.
Well, I think you're going to see it be a nationwide phenomenon. I've seen it other places as well, Joel.
But why?
Well,
I think I'm confused. Somebody said that it makes you more alert that it's okay to turn. Well, come on. What have we been doing the last 80 years?
Well, we've been having a lot of accidents with people making improper left turns. I mean, I think we don't like change, Joel. You and I are getting old. We don't like change. But as more drivers grow up, that's going to be part of their thing, saying it's okay to turn, but do it cautiously.
Well, I don't like change when it's not necessary and it costs the taxpayer money.
I know.
That's my point.
Well, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Hey, anyway, thanks for letting me in, you guys.
Oh, you bet, Joel.
Yeah, good topic. Thanks, Joel.
Care. Yeah.
Don't floor your Dodge like that kid did.
Okay.
The whole idea of that is just to show that the car has performance, but why have a kid do it? That just, I don't know. I like kids, but that commercial really sends me.
Yep, I understand.
Okay, well, anyway, thanks for letting me jump in.
Thanks, Joel.
Thanks, Joel. Take care.
Yeah,
bye, guys.
But I've seen those flashing yellows. They're going to be part of nationwide traffic signals.
Yeah.
And we'll just grow up like, I always think when I was learning to drive, when the yellow light came on, it was like caution, and you started slowing down. Now when the light's turning yellow, it's like, you better speed up. You're not going to make it. So
I hate it when I'm right in the middle.
Yeah, I know.
Trying to make that decision. Should I stop or should I go?
I know. Yeah.
That's traffic anxiety right there.
Yeah. I think we're going to see more of those lights. We're going to have more roundabouts.
I was just going to bring up roundabouts.
We're going to have more of them.
Obviously, there's more and more all the time.
Yeah.
You know what's weird about a roundabout? I think they make sense. And I think there's a reason they're going in that direction. But
keeps everything kind of moving.
Yeah. But you got to be focused when you hit a roundabout. I mean, and sometimes if you're in a town, like I was in Prairie du Chien, they have some roundabouts. And I felt uneasy going into them.
I know.
And sometimes I feel totally comfortable. Other times I don't know, I got other things on my mind or something, and you kind of have to, like, I'm in a town, I don't know, how do I operate this one? And I've made a couple of decisions. I'm like, did I just do the right thing?
I know. And they're not prevalent enough for people to be comfortable. There's many people when you're going up to them, the idea is to slow down, but if you can merge in, you just keep. And so many people pull up and stop, and there's like nobody, and you're like, it's okay. That's why they're here. It's okay.
Like you're trying to find a street, like in a town you don't know, and that street is right in the middle of a roundabout.
I know.
And that's what happened in Prairie du Chien, and I was like, I think that's the street I'm going to turn on. I'm in this roundabout. I think I'm just going to hustle over there real fast in case I made a wrong decision.
I know. A friend of mine, she was telling me when they put that roundabout, and I can't think of where it continues. It's like by where the Target is up north on Randall, like just south of Route 20, but up not the Target in South Elgin, but when you go west on that road back toward Long Common, back in there. She told me the first time she did it, she realized she was heading right back the way she came from. She went all the way around and headed back out again.
That's funny.
Yeah, they're hard to. I mean, you have to concentrate. Now in Europe, they're very prevalent. They're just, yeah.
7:43, couple phone calls.
Good.
847-931-1410.
If we threaten to talk sports the whole show, we can get people.
Isaac Paredes.
Yeah.
Third baseman,
We're
Cubs.
We're ready to chat.
Joel broke the ice a little bit.
Good.
Got us on traffic talk, so we'll see if we stay there.
I know.
As we take this next caller. Good morning. Welcome to the first shift. Is this Cody?
Yeah, this is. I was actually calling because you guys are talking about like the COVID and the roads being open and empty, and I'm going to have to say I actually really loved that. I loved being able to just be able to fly to work, fly back home, not have to worry about all the traffic. Didn't have to sit in traffic. That was great. But another thing about those roundabouts, I absolutely hate the roundabouts because, like, they're a European thing, and they're new kind of here in America. And, like, Americans don't know how to use them. They just keep going. They don't stop. They don't take their turns like they're supposed to. They don't yield.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people are getting used to them, so they don't really know how to handle them yet.
We just have to cycle out the old people. New people coming in will be like second nature to them, much like those flashing yellow lights.
Yeah, because they even put two new roundabouts out there in Hampshire and Marengo area. I was driving down there because I grew up out there.
Right.
Driving to do some repair, and now there's two new ones on Route 20. I almost didn't expect it because I was just cruising on the road, and I was like, well, this is new.
Yeah, one at Marengo Road, and there's two when you go west out there. Yeah.
They put new ones out there. But yeah, I like I said, I like the COVID traffic. I like nobody on the road.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I guess that's one.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Cody. Appreciate it.
Cody.
Man.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. I mean, it was nice. It's nice when I get down here and I realize there wasn't a great deal of traffic when I was coming here.
Yeah.
And you realize you're here several minutes earlier than usual.
Don't you? Another thing, it happened to me yesterday, traffic-wise. I went to get a haircut over there in South Elgin at Chang's. And you got to park in a slanted parking spot there, and you have to back off onto the road there, and when you leave there,
if there's an SUV or a truck next to you, how's that working for you?
And there was, I think, because I had a hard time seeing.
Yeah.
And so I had to try to figure out if there were cars coming, and there was one after another, perfectly spaced out where there was no way for me to back out.
Yeah.
And there's a stop sign right there. So if there's like 3-4 cars, then you can't back out because there's 3-4 cars behind you.
Yeah.
Blocking you.
Mm-hmm.
So then you got to wait for somebody, finally someone, railed their horn at me a couple of times, and I'm, getting upset because I don't like when people give me a loud horn, but they were doing it to let me know, come on out in front of me,
Yeah, right.
So that was a little unsettling. 7:45 here at WRMN, 847-931-1410. We got Genius George, I believe, calling us now.
All right.
Hey, George, good morning.
I'll get to my main point in a minute, but you're talking about roundabouts. My roundabout story, many years ago, I was in New Zealand, and my girlfriend wanted to go kayaking. Now, kayaking in my world, Mark, I'm not an outdoorsman like you are. Kayaking is like J.B. Pritzker going to a fitness center. It's just not really working. So, but, you know, you do what you have to do where you're in a relationship. So, yes, we're going to go kayaking. So I had to rent a car. Now, we're in New Zealand. So I rented this car. I'm on the wrong side of the car driving, on the wrong side of the street driving, and I get involved in this super roundabout. This was like the world's largest roundabout. At least it was in my mind. And I think I went around that thing 2 or 3 times before I finally figured out how to get out of it. And, of course, the whole time I'm circling this thing, I've got my girlfriend chirping in my ear about do this, do that. And I'm just focused on getting out of this Twilight Zone Groundhog Day roundabout, which I finally did, and got through the kayaking unscathed. So that's my roundabout story.
Okay.
I'm calling, though, mostly about, and I have really, really enjoyed watching the Olympics this week. I've watched almost every night, maybe an hour every night, sometimes a little bit more than that, and so proud of these great American athletes, these great international athletes, but particularly American athletes, and Simone Biles and Suni Lee, the gymnasts who've overcome such great obstacles, not just career-threatening obstacles, but life-threatening to get back on the podium. And so proud when you see them up there in the national anthem is playing. And Katie Ledecky, who's now the most decorated, I think, female athlete in Olympic history, certainly the most decorated female Olympic swimmer in history, and just great, just very, very proud of all of that. And Snoop Dogg, I don't know if you watched any of it, Larry, this guy has become America's mascot. I didn't really follow much about Snoop Dogg. I know he's perennially high, smoking reefer, that's his thing, rapper, okay, that's fine. But this guy has become America's mascot. I mean, he's really funny. He's very, very smart. He's everywhere in those Olympics, and very patriotic, too, I might add, and just been a real breath of fresh air, that whole coverage, which I remember coverage back in the 70s when I watched every minute of every Olympic, especially Summer Olympics, was pretty static. But this has been great. It's been a great Olympics. Now, the issue is this, and this started yesterday, and it just, I think, shows how probably time is passing us by a little bit. This whole controversy with this boxing situation. There are 2 boxers. One is Algerian, the other one is Chinese, and apparently there are questions about their gender identification. Now, to me, and I am trying to be politically correct here, but I think I know the difference between a man and a woman. I don't know if the International Olympic Committee knows the difference, because they're talking about things like eligibility standards and chromosome counts and things of that sort, and what they identify as on their passports. I mean, in my mind, you're either a man or a woman, and I know that the world has changed, and you could be born a man and maybe not be a man or identify as a woman. I don't know any of that. But it seems patently unfair that you've got some, what I would call a dude, beating up this little Italian woman in a boxing match that she had to quit 46 seconds into the bout.
Yeah, it doesn't seem right at all.
No.
I don't get it.
What is it? I don't get it either. I mean, I probably, you know, and I'm sure my liberal friends will call me out on this, but I'm kind of missing the boat on this, I think. I mean, if you're a man, you're a man. If you're not, you're a woman, generally. Isn't that the case? Or am I missing something?
And even if you're a man that wants to be a woman and decides that you're a woman, you don't suddenly change to have all the women features. You have man talents, let's say, in sports. That makes it unfair.
Man strength. Body structure. Body structure.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I you know, when I saw that, and I didn't know it till there was some text being, and I just, all it did was make me feel old. And it made me look up and think, where are we going in this world that we're so worried that we're going to offend someone that we dash the hopes and dreams of someone who's worked their entire life to get to the pinnacle of amateur sports. I can't get over that somebody doesn't look up and say, stop worrying just about those people. Start worrying about them, those people.
The person that really is a woman that worked really hard to put herself in a position to win.
We're supposed to be this all-inclusive, but it just made me crazy, and it made me realize how little I want to play a part in wherever the world could end up someday. That sounds really strange, but it just troubled me so much. And women athletes, I think, are very quick to understand. I think it was one of the Williams sisters that talked about how long she would last playing most men in tennis. And
absolutely,
those Williams sisters brought a lot to the game when they played.
They were super athletic, a lot more athletic than most women are.
Most women tend. But even they said, we can't compete with them. And so think about that. Think about how all these young athletes, it's their life's work. Whether it's boxing, figures, anything, and then all of a sudden you have to go there and compete with someone who, and I'm not saying that boxers this way, but somebody who at best might be a marginal male athlete.
Right.
I can't get over it.
Yeah.
And you remember, Larry, the name Renee Richards back, I think, in the 70s or probably the 70s or 80s. I think Renee Richards was born a male and identified as a female or had some transgender surgery and was competing as a female tennis player. Never really amounted to much. And I know this is not, and this is a very simplistic analogy, but Katie Ledecky is arguably one of the greatest, maybe the greatest Olympic swimmers, female swimmers in history.
Right.
How would she do if Michael Phelps put on a woman's Speedo and raced against her?
I agree.
Probably
no.
not so well.
George, common sense has got to play a part someday. You know that?
We've politically corrected ourselves, I think, out of reality. You have to start talking about gender eligibility standards.
I know.
Come on.
I know.
I've been to the Baton, which is a female impersonator bar in Chicago, more than any heterosexual in this area, and I know the difference between a male and a female. I do. Let's see the equipment, or the equipment you were born with, and it's gotten to the point of being ridiculous.
It is.
And again, you kind of walk that fine line because you don't want to be considered anachronistic or somebody who's on the outside edge of being old. But at the same time, really, what's right is right. I mean, come on. We've lost, I think, our sense of really what's right is right. That's it. What's right is right. What's fair is fair. I don't think that this Algerian male turned female or male identifying as female boxer, and I sent you that meme, I don't think he or she would like stepping in the ring with Mike Tyson in his prime.
At his prom?
Yeah. I was so angry when I was looking at those things. I just was like...
Now that you're telling me the story, I think you're giving me part of the reason why I don't watch the Olympics.
Well...
Yeah, but Mark, it's the same, it's the same everywhere in society. It's just a global spotlight. But, I guess we focus on the great things, and Snoop Dogg is something to focus on. He's been great. I was never much of a Snoop Dogg fan, but he's been great this Olympics. He really has become America's mascot. And I guess, you can teach an old dog new tricks because I was never a Snoop Dogg fan.
All right, George. Well, thanks for your thoughts, man. Thanks for calling.
And I hope to see you. Are you going to be there tonight, Larry, at the public house?
I am, yeah.
Good. I'm going to try to...
got to go see my pal. I've got to see my pal go, Yeah,
there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We wish Leah the best.
Right.
It's been a big part of that station for a long time.
That's right.
Almost 14 years, yeah. Mm-hmm. Been through a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mark, I echo, you mentioned something about Matt yesterday and how he has really grown as his on-air personality. I listened to his Drink of the Day show yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was great.
Was he?
He really is. Yeah, and he mentioned, too, that a couple of years ago, he probably would have been too shy, too what's the word I'm looking for? Self-concerned, too insecure.
Self-conscious. Self-conscious, yeah.
Too insecure. Thank you. To do this, and now he's really kind of come out of, if he was in a shell, he's come out of it, and he's really good. He's a very smart young man, very articulate young man, and now he's kind of let that roll, and boy, he's doing great. So
he's been given an opportunity, and he's kind of seizing it.
There you go.
Yeah, no kidding. He's like the Simone Biles of Elgin broadcasting.
And he loves it.
Yeah.
He really loves it. He really loves it, and he wants to put like a lot of effort into getting better all the time.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
really proud of him.
Well, thanks, George.
That's a really positive thing with all the changes. 99% of them good, moving in the right direction with the radio station. That's one of the really biggest positives, I think, of all, is Matt taking a bigger role in coming center stage. I'll let you go.
Thank you, George.
Thanks, George. See you tonight.
Right.
See you tonight.
7:57 here at WRMN. Only about a minute till the end of this hour. We have David on the phone, but David may have to wait till after the break.
Right. He's not a minute phone call.
No. So, David, if you can hang on for a few minutes. What was I going to say? Well, Dino's on YouTube. We can finish with a couple of YouTube comments.
Yeah.
We still have to have our Comfort Keepers call to action. We can do that right now.
Okay.
And say the call to order is brought to you by Comfort Keepers of Elgin. They're highly trained and dedicated caregivers. Can help your loved ones stay in the comfort of their home for as long as safely possible. A dream come true for many elders. It's Comfort Keepers. And you'll hear more about Comfort Keepers coming up in just a few moments here on the show. A couple of comments on YouTube today. Brendan says, hello, WRMN listeners. I'm Brendan.
Hi, Brendan. Hi, Brendan.
I'm Mark, and this over here is Larry.
Yes.
Let's see. Double 5 Chevy Mike checks in.
I haven't heard from him for a while.
I know. He says, good morning, Mark, Larry, and the first shifters. I am still out here listening every day, but in regards to the Dodge ad, the kid portrays the inner child of the driver and not really driving. Okay. And Dino says, God morning, FRV. First shift, Marky B, and our guy, Larry. Have a great day. Looking forward to seeing you all at the Elgin Public House tonight, 5:30, as we wish Leah well on her retirement. So that is all coming up at 5:30 at the Elgin Public House at 219 East Chicago Street, if you can make it. We're going to catch up with some top-of-the-hour news here, and then we'll catch David's phone call and maybe yours, too, at 847-931-1410 on a Friday on WRMN.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section, when Dad injured his back, when your basketball star tore his ACL. Opioids helped with the pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Opioids are powerful pain-reducing prescription medicines, but most people who are prescribed opioids don't finish their prescriptions. So millions of unused opioids are sitting in homes across the country. And tragically, more than 100 Americans die every day from overdoses involving opioids. What can you do to protect your family? Remove the risk of unused opioids from your home. Pills, patches, or syrups in drawers, purses, and cabinets, anywhere they might be hiding. To find out how to dispose of them properly, visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 8 o'clock.
With your AM 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Linzette's. Mark your calendars for the annual Taste of Batavia and Block Party, which returns on September 1st. Join the city of Batavia downtown from 4 to 9 p.m. at the Peg Bond Center. $3 tastings of local flavors. The event is in conjunction with Batavia Main Street. King County Clerk John A. Cunningham is calling for election judges for the November 5th general election. You earn $250 for serving. You can find details on the King County Clerk's website. In an update to a story that broke on Tuesday when 2 people were found dead following a shooting on Raymond Street in Elgin, police have now identified one victim as 47-year-old Gina Benfield. The investigation of the incident is ongoing.
With your AM 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Kernan.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk. Life hack. Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher end auto pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance, because giving you options is the right thing to do.
Oh yeah, like bringing brownies to a dinner party. But I never bring brownies with nuts, because not everyone likes nuts, so they wouldn't eat those brownies. And even people who do like nuts will still eat brownies without them. Why? Because they're brownies.
But still, it's the right thing to do. So compare rates with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you...
The lightest, fluffiest pancakes are calling your name at JoJo's Diner, 1935 West Gulf Road in Schaumburg. JoJo's has a huge breakfast menu featuring skillets, eggs Benedict, and so much more. Don't stop at breakfast. JoJo's also offers great burgers, sandwiches, and shakes. And for mouth-watering prime rib, try JoJo's for dinner. They have such a versatile menu. JoJo's Diner is family-owned and operated, and it's one of Schaumburg's best-kept secrets. Visit jojosdiner.com today.
This summer, get outside and enjoy a quick round of golf at the Twin Lakes Golf Course in Palatine. Twin Lakes features an executive 9-hole golf course with a driving range, cafe, and pro shop. Just starting the game, lessons are available. Take a couple of hours for yourself and stop at the Twin Lakes Rec Area off Northwest Highway and hit the links. For a tee time, call 847-934-6050.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN. At the NFL Hall of Fame game last night, the Bears beat the Texans 21-17. The game was suspended in the third quarter due to heavy rain and lightning. Bears president and CEO Kevin Warren made an appearance in the broadcast booth during the game. They said the team hopes to break ground for a new stadium by next year. They said they're still focused on building the stadium on the lakefront, but added that the Bears are the largest landowner in Arlington Heights, and that remains an opportunity.
Base hit down the left field line. Cubs are going to walk it off. Swanson scores. Cubs win.
The call on Cubs radio, 5-4 the win in comeback fashion at Wrigley Field over the Cardinals. Mike Tauchman, the hero, he doubled in Dansby Swanson as Chicago scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th to win it.
Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive.
I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We can get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we can take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk. Life hack. Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan.
This is Larry Jones, and I'd like to talk to you about my bank, American Eagle Bank in South Elgin. Has your bank changed names in the last 10 years? Is your bank another faceless branch with headquarters in another city? Are you tired of earning next to nothing on your savings account or certificates of deposit, or does your personal banker treat you like a stranger? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you're ready for a new banking experience, and American Eagle is the place for you. American Eagle is a locally owned independent bank that's rooted in the community. And American Eagle customers are greeted by name and treated with the respect that they deserve. American Eagle has an innovative program, Eagle Savings, that teaches your children to save while earning prizes and rewards. American Eagle offers great rates on certificates of deposit. My bank is located in South Elgin on Randall Road between the Target and Caputo's and is open Monday through Saturday. Give them a call at 847-742-7400 and a real person will answer the phone. American Eagle Bank, a place where you matter.
As the Elgin Police Department continues to participate in the Distracted Driving campaign, they wanted to share some tips from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration website regarding safe driving. If you are expecting a text or need to send one, pull over and park your car in a safe location. Once you are safely off the road and parked, it's safe to text. Designate your passenger as your designated texter. Allow them to access your phone to respond to calls or messages. Do not engage in social media scrolling or messaging while driving. Are you struggling not to text and drive? Activate your phone's Do Not Disturb feature or put your cell phone in the trunk, the glove box, or the back seat of your vehicle until you arrive at your destination. Remember, the Elgin Police are conducting directed patrols to enforce distracted driving violations. Just drive and stay safe. A message from our friends at the Elgin Police Department and your friends here at WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Visit the Milwaukee County Zoo this summer to enjoy so many species of fun. Home to more than 2,200 animals, representing over 340 different species. The zoo educates, entertains, and inspires. Stomp back in time with the zoo's summer exhibit, Dinosaur Discovery, sponsored by Sendik's Food Market. You'll be astounded by the gigantic and scientifically accurate animatronic displays. Touch, feel, and learn about the role of predators in the ecosystem. Running through October 5th. Visit MilwaukeeZoo.org.
By love of food and wellness, Mockingbird Bar and Garden of East Dundee encourages you to eat seasonal and clean while still indulging a bit. Whether food is served fresh or wood-fired, nothing is overcomplicated. Mockingbird Bar and Garden promises to give your palate something delicious and new and aspires to be a hive of buzz and activity. Start your weekend with an espresso or complement dinner with wine, specialty cocktails, or craft beer. Visit mockingbirdbarandgarden.com today.
Blast off! As Circus World boldly goes where no circus has gone before. Feel the big bang as Tina the Human Cannonball flies high. Defy gravity with an upside-down rocketeer, perky poodles, soaring aerial acts, plus camels, llamas, horses, and ponies orbiting the ring. Jugglers, zany comedy, and space cadet music invite you to Blast Off! To family fun at Circus World.
Open Book joins the WRMN lineup every Monday from 1 to 2 p.m. Tune in to Open Book with the Gale Board and Library as their team brings you the features and events the library offers. Educational, informational, and timely. Open Book includes the services Gale Board and Library offers, like the summer reading program. That's Open Book every Monday at 1 p.m. with the Gale Board and Library. Brought to you thanks to KCT Credit Union, where your financial well-being is their top priority.
Experience the natural side of Wisconsin Dells this summer at Land of Natura, now open. It's the first natural theme park and water park of its kind. You have to see this one. This 150-acre park is for all ages and includes Water World, America's largest floating water park, plus more than 10 attractions, dining, and much, much more. There's so much to do there. Land of Natura in the Dells, where fun comes naturally. Reserve your pass at landofnatura.com today.
And we're back with WCK, Comfort Keepers Radio. So, Julianne, what got you interested in Comfort Keepers?
Mom passed. We were concerned about Dad being alone.
And Phil, what's it like to have a caregiver around?
Well, it's great. They help me get ready for the day and drive me wherever I need to go.
And I heard you guys are cooking together, too.
I'm learning.
It's been a huge relief knowing someone's there.
Learn more at comfortkeepers.com.
jets are glowing. You're drawn like a moth to a flame.
Wow. Welcome back to Studio 14 here on this Friday morning. First shift, 8 o'clock hour. Ever since I played the gentleman Jim Reeves the other day, Larry Jones, I've been kind of jonesing for more.
Yeah. He did have a nice, pleasant voice.
Yeah.
Four walls to hear me.
The early days of country music, huh?
Yes.
Well, he was in a plane crash, I guess, on this week.
And he was the pilot.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, now that you mention that. 1964, after several days of searching, the bodies of country star gentleman Jim Reeves and his manager, bandmate Dean Manuel were found in the wreckage of a plane crash. The two men had been en route to Nashville. Reeves at the controls.
Yeah.
Musician/pilot.
Right.
Now, last hour, we talked at musician/bulldozer driver.
I know.
It didn't work out for either one of those fellas.
Maybe you should just be just concentrate in one area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
The single-engine aircraft disappeared from radar, and the Grand Ole Opry member, who was laid to rest 2 days later, was known for hits like this one, Four Walls, along with I Won't Forget You. Was that the song we played the other day? I think it might have been.
I don't think so.
Oh.
I'm not sure. But I don't... It might be. Maybe I just didn't recognize the name of that.
Yeah.
But I remember this song.
You do?
Oh, sure. It's just all about the only thing that hears him, four walls, and he's alone and sad. And another feel-good country song.
Jeez. Sorry to depress you on a Friday morning.
That's all right.
I couldn't decide. I have like 6 songs here to choose from.
Yeah.
And the time came, and I just had to press one. So I should have played some Molly Hatchet, Flirting with Disaster. I have that queued up. That's a more upbeat Friday party song.
Yeah, no kidding.
Let's go to the phones, 847-931-1410 on this Friday morning as we take you through the final stages of this show, this portion of the show. Chief Lalley next hour from the Elgin Police Department, Steve Thoren at 9:30, and Tim Calderwood in about half an hour or less. And we actually have a few things to talk about with Tim in sports today besides the Cubs and the White Sox. Good morning, David.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, hi, Larry.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Okay.
Good.
So, sometimes I put a muzzle on what I really want to say and how intense I want to say it, but I have not heard you mention about that guy in a dress in front of the radio station in a while. Is he hopefully he's still okay and healthy and...
Talking about just Joni.
Yeah.
So last I know, Joni's doing fine. Every once in a while, I see her somewhere.
I haven't seen her. Although somebody talked about seeing her at the Pride Parade.
She was at the July 4th parade.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see her.
She was along the parade route.
Along the route. So
she's not in the parade, no.
Okay, because I only saw what was in. I didn't see along.
Oh, right. She was sitting alongside the street.
Okay.
Talked to her for a minute.
All right.
But no, she hasn't been around the radio station like she used to be.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, like I said, yeah, hope he's doing good. And anyway, not going to get into a big conversation. So anyway, yeah, a lot of changes in the radio station. Is Rick Jaco still alive? Hopefully.
Yeah, he's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has he stopped in, or is he aware of like a bunch of the changes? I wonder if he's a regular listener. Maybe, or
I think he's keeping track because I think Dino has been in touch with him off and on through this whole process to get his thoughts on things. I wouldn't be necessarily surprised to see him tonight if he were to stop by the Elgin Public House.
He and Leah were very close.
Yeah. He was the one who brought Leah here from Wisconsin.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does that radio station? Do you know? Well, you wouldn't know, but that she came from in Madison or whatever. Would you know off the record if they still have the shopping show, or just comparing shopping show life status?
No, I have no idea.
No, me.
To be honest with you.
No.
Yeah, so I'm going. Like I said, I'm going to Cave and Rock, a place I really recommend in Southern Illinois that I had bought off the bidding for bargains. and I don't think they're on the show anymore.
Well, you don't need it. You already have one.
Yeah, but for next time. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go all the time. You know, oh, that's the only reason I know you, or just to go, you know, and not spend cash, which I have spent money, like extending the stay in the past with them, and they're a good place. But yeah, so there, and then Giant City State Park, which is towards Missouri. It's like 50 miles to the west.
Yeah.
Off from a WBIG, and WBIG doesn't have very many motels anymore.
Right.
So,
well, we're hoping to maintain relationships with some of these places that we've been able to send people, and the hotels that we've been able to help people, you know, on their travel as we move forward. Even though we're not having as much of the radio shopping show as we used to, you know, it's all going to be evolving as time goes on, and we're going to figure out ways to reestablish either the radio shopping show or at least relationships with clients that have been on the radio shopping show.
right? Are you doing any sales, like, or not necessarily?
It's in the works for. I'm hoping to get involved in that area. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be good, because I'm sure you would do good. But anyway, when I'm down at Cave and Rock in Giant City, I will talk to them about how I found out about them and recommend WRMN. I would not have known about the shopping show. And so I think for them, you know, they don't want to give away, not give away, but have every stay there is to be on the show and then not have any cash-paying customers. But I think personally that it's a good addition and gets them more clients. So I will put in a good word to both of them and recommend WRMN, not WBIG, WRMN to them.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Thanks, Dave. Have a good time there.
Have a good week. Have a good weekend, and wish Leah the best and her retirement. And yeah, that's all. And have a good rest of your day.
Okay, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. Take care. You too.
And hope certified, or no, comfort. Yeah. Hello to everybody, but hopefully Kathy is comforting. Kathy.
She's doing okay.
Yeah.
She's doing okay. Yeah.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye.
All right. David checking in. Trouble wrapping up his thought there.
Yeah, he did.
I hate it when that happens.
Me too.
818-847-931-1410. I was just looking at, since we were playing some Jim Reeves, I'm looking at some of the music history from this day. Last year on this day, as a thank you to crew members on the Taylor Swift Eras Tour, it was reported that the singer had paid a hefty bonus of $100,000 to the tour's truck drivers as the U.S. leg came to an end. She insisted on writing a handwritten note to each driver thanking them for their work. The star is said to have given bonuses totaling more than $55 million to performers and crew working on her huge Eras tour, rewarding everyone from dancers to riggers, sound technicians, catering staff, and more. Imagine being a driver on Taylor Swift's tour of one of her tour buses or whatever. And they probably make pretty decent money to start with, I imagine.
I have no idea.
They get a $100,000 bonus.
Pretty nice.
That's a perk for being involved with somebody that's super rich.
I don't want to sound greedy, but there's a star who appreciates the people that help her be a star.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at me like that for? I'm no star.
Well, you are here, buddy.
819 here
but
at WRMN.
Those guys, I think about those drivers. I mean,
what a job.
They have to probably help tear down. They're like roadies.
Yeah.
And then not just bus drivers. Her tour probably has how many semis that takes all of her stage and all the rigging and everything.
Right.
Then they drive all night and get down to the next place, and that's a hard job for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's nice that she recognizes that there are people that make her a star.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Is she still with Travis Kelce?
I think we'd know if they weren't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been kind of calm and peaceful
If they
lately.
weren't, the Olympics would be preempted with news about it.
True. Last night we were watching the Cubs. Lorena asked me if the announcers, do they travel with the team too? And I said, yeah, they do. And she's like, well, that's a pretty cool job. I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't that be cool to be, what's his name, or Jim DeShays and broadcast games and get to go to all these great cities all summer long?
Yeah.
They even get time off during the season.
They do now, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. The only problem, it's like we talk about when everybody goes, so they're a homer. Well, yeah, they're hired by the club.
Yeah.
I mean, they're an employee.
Right.
Yeah.
So they want to give you what you want to hear. If you're mad because the Cubs are playing like crap, the announcers, they really want to tell you that they agree with you,
but
they have to do it in a very soft way.
Yeah.
And they have to try to stay as positive as they can.
Exactly.
Because they're being paid by the team.
I saw a quote from Ozzy. When you see these things, you're not sure if they're right, but they were talking about the White Sox having a good locker room, and he said something about, I'd like to have them not get along and go win some games.
Ozzy said that?
Yeah.
That's great.
That's
what we want to hear.
I don't know how, again, especially the guys that are, it's one thing to be busy broadcasting the game, but when you're in that post-game show, I don't know how you're not able, how do you stay positive?
I know.
I don't know how you do that. Now, Chuck Garfien, that's different. But when you're like Frank Thomas or you're Ozzy or one of those guys that
are in the studio trying to break down the game, another loss.
I'm not going to break it down. It broke down about the third inning.
You'd want to be a comedian like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
And she also said last night, Lorena did, I wonder how much like Taylor McGregor makes. The sideline. Well, you don't even talk that much during the game, but I bet she still makes quite a nice salary.
I bet she does.
Yeah. 822.
You don't ever really see many sideline reporters that you go, ugh. They always have a certain amount of grandstand appeal, the people that are the sideline.
Yeah. Oh, she's pretty.
Oh, many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except what's her name? Well, never mind.
Don't be mean.
No.
Don't be mean.
I can't think of her name, so I can't be mean to her anyway right now, so that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's someone that probably thinks she's attractive too.
Yeah. 823 here at WRMN, 847-931-1410. If you want to catch up with us over the next 15 minutes or so, probably check bottom of the hour news in a few moments.
Yeah, we'll have Tim in, though.
Yeah.
So don't wait till the last minute, because you will have to wait till next week.
Man, what's up with the situation? We never have talked about this yet, but you mentioned it off the air even the other day with the Springfield cop.
Man.
How does that?
It's a deputy sheriff from Sangamon County.
Okay, well, he's a police officer, right?
Yeah, but he's not with the Sangamon Police. He's not with the Springfield Police Department.
Oh, yeah, right.
You know what? And I was thinking about it a lot, and I know I spend a certain amount of my time defending police officers, and I'll continue to do that. But once in a while, you look up and you say, you can't defend that. You can't defend that. But here's what I'm going to say. Several years ago, I tried to do some research, and they said there are 800,000 people in the United States who have law enforcement status. Around 800,000.
Okay.
Who interact with people every day. You can't weed out bad employees. You try. Every department tries to test as the best they can. Psychological testing is pretty arbitrary sometimes. Pretty arbitrary.
Yeah.
And I know people who have washed out on one psychological, and then they get hired, they go to another department, and they make it through. It's not like passing a written test where there's right answers, wrong. Of course, there are some wrong answers on a psychological test. And I'm making a joke, but I don't mean to. If you answer a question, I only want this job because I can carry a gun and I may get to use it, you're not going to get hired.
Yeah.
There are some answers that are wrong. But some people, and I don't know this guy in Sangamon County, but there are some people that I've encountered in my life that have character disorders that are still very good at taking those kind of tests and masking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm going to keep saying it. When a police officer does something wrong like we just saw, it's catastrophic. But there are bad people that make it through being judges, being lawyers, being doctors, being priests.
Yeah.
There are bad people that make it through the process. You can't, it's not a perfect science. There are going to be some people doing a job that shouldn't do it. And some people, now this guy bounced from place to place.
Right.
That is
There
kind
was
of a
certainly some red flags.
But you still
so
got
the sheriff is jumping all over him, of course, now.
Of course.
But was the sheriff the one that would have hired him?
The merit commission.
Okay.
The merit commission.
So he can't take blame for the hiring.
Well, I think he has to take him off the list. But if they do a background, and a lot of departments are hesitant to say bad things about people that are gone because you can get sued. I mean, in a way, it's a system that's in place to protect bad employees, too. So that's a shame. That was one of those things, at least from what we see, and I'm going to put that out there because we don't see the whole thing, that clearly there was someone there who was having some type of mental/emotional situation that it would have been better to have someone beside the police dealing with her.
Right. And most of the time, a police officer would have dealt with her just fine. But
Of course. And I still don't see, you really should use deadly force if there is like an immediate threat, not someone who has to walk across a room with a pot of boiling water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not making jokes. I hated to see it. And I've been retired a long time, but when you see things like that, you feel like it's like a stamp on something I spent 30 years doing. It's like a bruise on it. And I hate it because there are people out there who need help, and then something like this happens. I'm not going to wring my hands and cry over people who are criminals. That sometimes bad things happen. All they needed, I don't want people killed, but sometimes if they would just stop whatever they're doing, they would have
avoided that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not defending that. I'm just saying I don't get as upset as when I see someone who is clearly has emotional problems.
Yeah.
And it can still be justified. We talked at length about that young lady that was killed on the tollway, that was shot by the police. Sometimes they do things that makes that happen.
Right.
But every time that happens, I think we learn a bit more about, and it's sad that it's at someone's expense, but we learn more about there might be a better way. There might be a better way. That doesn't mean there was a better way at that moment, and those tools were maybe not available then. It has to evolve.
Yeah.
It has to evolve. But it's a shame. It's a shame.
Maybe sometimes a person, you were saying, they can overcome their bad character by doing well on tests or whatever.
Sure.
Maybe they can also be so charismatic, and they seem like such a. They can overcome maybe some past problems they've had because they seem as if they're just such a charismatic.
Right, and they're
so full of it that you believe them.
They can justify it away. Everybody's got that thing. I got that bad thing there. I had a sergeant who just didn't like me because he didn't want to do things, and he didn't want a guy on his shift generating too much work for him. I've heard that. I've heard people complain like that. You know what I mean? He didn't want a worker on his shift. When you work, it makes him have to work. He didn't want a worker like me.
Yeah.
It sounds stupid.
No.
But you can justify it. But usually when they bounce a lot from place to place. Now, you can have a guy on a small department who wants to go to a bigger department. Better benefits, better money. That makes sense to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not to go bunka, bunka, bunka. But I bet you every time they did a background, nobody wanted to talk about him. They were just glad he was gone.
Yeah. 8:29 here at WRMN. We got the director on the phone. He might have some comments about this.
Sure.
As 847-931-1410. Dino is on the show. Good morning, Dino.
Good morning, guys. How you doing today?
We're good, man.
Yeah. How are you?
Oh, great. I started chomping at the bit, waiting for someone to bring this up, this particular case, because I feel a lot like Larry. Being from the job and having situations come, and you could clearly see the woman was distraught in some way. But the call was for an out. If I have the facts right, there was an outdoor disturbance.
A prowler.
Thought somebody was breaking.
It was a prowler call.
Okay, so they investigated the prowler call. That was an outdoor situation. They walked in, told her what was going on, and now you see the woman reacting a little, let's just say, differently, because there's some sense of, mental disparity going on. Police officers always have that opportunity, just like Larry said. There was no imminent harm to nobody as she's boiling that hot water. Even as she's chanting, in the name of Jesus, I rebuke you. You know the woman's ramping up to something that's not going to go well.
No.
You walk in, you tell her, ma'am, everything's secure and fine outside. You're safe and sound in here. We're going to leave now. He should have walked out the door, again, not knowing the totality of circumstances, but that's your opportunity to walk out the door and then call the mental health crisis hotlines that they've developed now for people, because they're at every department now. That's been a big, upturn in added resources. To me, that's how that situation could have happened, because that very officer, even though I hear he's got a bad history, but Larry cites 8,000 police officers for how many of the population in the United States? That's not a fair balance.
No, it's 800. It's 800,000 in the total United States.
It's still not a big number by comparison to the population.
Oh, of course not.
So to be able to get that picture perfect officer is impossible, and that's why we're fortunate, like even here with Anna Lalley, Chief of Elgin, with her progressive community policing. I've been such a proponent of community policing, what they call that verbal judo, because maybe 2 hours before that, 4 other police officers were kind to somebody, doing something nice, and we never hear that,
Right.
But this situation, of course, should be focused on. But then you get all these uprisings and movements, and then they make it as if that's what the majority is going on.
Right.
It's not. And I still believe crime in the United States was always the statistic that's single digit. As much as our news media and every one of us, something bad, hey, we're gonna report it. The negativity in the world is still single digit. We have to find the positives. We have to embrace the people that are doing the right things and say, okay, this guy's wrong. Let's take him on his own and not classify and group all of these police officers or, public servants that are out there. They're all bad. They're not all bad. And I'm not doing a commercial like I love the police. That's not what it is. It's just that unfortunate, whatever goes on, everybody always wants to, you have that single-digit situation, but we're going to magnify it and turn it into a movement, and now it's out of place when all you have to do is correct the problem. You got 10 employees, associates, whatever they're called today, and you have one problem child. You don't put up billboards and signs all over the building. You can't do this, you can't do that. You address it with the one person, and you try and get it resolved.
Yeah.
I just had to chime in on it because when I saw the video too, I mean, it was like, oh my God! And I know that's how you felt, Larry.
Oh, I did.
It's like there was 1,000 ways you could have got out of that.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And some of it has to do. Some of it, you're quite right, Dean. Is like you can retreat a little bit, and some police think I'm not gonna. I'm not, you know what I mean? Sometimes you can back off and reassess, especially with somebody having. Now, of course, like we look at this. If they would have gotten out of there and she would have harmed herself, then people would be saying, "You." But better to reassess and get out. And I understand also, and it's all secondhand news, that a family member of hers had called the sheriff's department the day before.
Yeah.
And it said she has some severe mental issues. I just want to let you know. And even said, I don't want you guys to hurt her. I think it was her mom. I think it was. Now, I don't know if that got passed on. I don't know. I don't know. It's too bad. It's just too bad.
Thanks, Dino.
It's a shame. No, that's. I just wanted to. All right, man. You guys hit the nail on the head, but it just goes to like your sergeant. We had guys like that too. That you have a guy that, like, I used to work a lot of the midnight shift. You know, I used to turn a stone or two just to see what was going on. You know, I didn't want to sleep. I wanted to work. And then you're making and generating calls, and how, like you said, your watch commander or whatever you call it on your shift, now he's got to fill out paperwork.
Yeah, I know.
And a lot of them, they just want to get through their midnight shift.
Mm-hmm.
So, excellent point. But that's all I wanted to say, guys. I'm glad you brought the topic up.
All right, Dean.
All right, Dean.
It's a shame what happened. Have a great day. Great show, guys, like always.
Thanks, buddy. We'll see you in a little while.
See you in a bit.
See you later on.
Well, and I think the other thing that it does fall on chiefs and their staff is when you see people, you know, every department, somebody's on probation when they first get hired. Sometimes it's 12 months, 18 months. That when you see somebody and you know that they shouldn't be there, it's to actually, and it's hard to take on getting rid of employees, but you have to. You have to look up and say, I can't let this person get certified. They shouldn't do this job, and get rid of them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
8:36 here at WRMN. Well, thanks for the phone call, Dino. Yeah. And we're going to take a quick break here and then come back with a little Tim Calderwood.
Sounds great.
And talk some sports, maybe some Olympics with Tim, maybe a little football, Olympic ping pong, some 3-on-3 basketball, who knows what. Cubs, White Sox, sports talk on the way. Boomers talk probably too, as the first shift continues. We'll talk more with Chief law enforcement things with Chief Anna Lalley coming up at 9 a.m. Keep it right here on WRMN on a fantastic Friday. Attention all burger enthusiasts and game aficionados. Celebrate a century of excellence at Mott's Lounge. Proudly serving the community for 100 years under 5 generations of passionate ownership. Sink your teeth into our hand-pressed fresh burgers bursting with flavor, crafted just the way you like them. And while you're here, enjoy our exclusive drink specials, perfect for toasting to our milestone anniversary. Plus, challenge your luck with our state-of-the-art gaming machines, adding an extra thrill to your visit. Join us at Mott's Lounge and be a part of history in the making. Here's to another century of great food, fun, and memories. Mott's Lounge, where every visit is a celebration. For more information, visit us online at mottslounge.com.
For local information and fun times in the mornings, listen to Marky B and Larry Jones on the first shift.
And when like Christmas time and Thanksgiving time, Brian has these little competitions. People ring up and they gobble like a turkey, and whoever gets the most votes for the best gobble off, they win a turkey for Thanksgiving.
Really? That's a great idea. That's a great radio contest. Derek has given us some great ideas here.
That's
Larry.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the first shift, weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on WRMN. Are you getting ready to clock out for the day? Get ready for the ultimate midday pick-me-up. Cruise home with the Midday Drive with Matt. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. Join in as I bring you the hottest hits, engaging conversations, and your daily dose of entertainment. From trending topics to local happenings, I've got your afternoons covered. We hope you'll enjoy the ride with the Midday Drive. Tune in on WRMN AM 1410 and drive your day with the Midday Drive. Every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. right here on WRMN. Voice of the Valley, the talk of the town.
Let me tell you a story about Bill. Bill was a normal guy in his 50s. He had back surgery about 2 years ago. Bill was in a lot of pain. He dealt with his pain by taking the Percocets his doctor prescribed for him. Bill took more and more and more of them to help with the pain, until one day the prescriptions weren't enough to get rid of Bill's pain. Then one day Bill found someone to help him get rid of the pain with illegal drugs he didn't need a prescription for. Fast forward to today. Bill lost his job and his family. The only thing he does have is his drug dealer. If you know Bill's story and you don't want to end up like Bill, call the Detox and Treatment Helpline right now to get away and get treatment. 800-694-1127. 800-694-1127. 800-694-1127. Call right now. Help is standing by. 800-694-1127.
Kids will find buried treasure this summer as they climb aboard the pirate ship and pretend they're sailing the seven seas. Pirates Cove Children's Theme Park in Elk Grove is designed to encourage exploration and imagination for children from 2 to 9. There's so much to see and do, like Barnet's Bay Boats, Camelot's Castle, Pirate's Plunge, Safari Express, Thoren Schooners, and so much more. Wearing socks and gym shoes for safe play is advised. For more information, visit elkgroveparks.org.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Had to get my Molly Hatchet in. Flirting with disaster. 8:42 here at WRMN. We're going to flirt with sports talk in just a moment. But first, let's talk about SB Nation. And for that, we bring in local legend Larry Jones. Welcome back, Larry.
Thanks, Mark. Hey, we have a lot of sports today, and it's their fault. It is our callers' fault.
Yeah.
Listeners' fault, not callers. Listeners. If they don't call, we have to get back, nuzzle into our comfort zone.
I know,
right? Anyway, if you like sports at all, good place to check out is SN Sports Bees and Blog Nation. There's a blog for any sport you're interested in. To get to SB Nation, get to the App Store. Get the SB Nation app for your smartphone or tablet. You can always log in at sbnation.com. When you get there, please stop by the Nice Honest blog. See what everybody Shepherd Price writing about, then you can roam anywhere. Mark was right before the break about there's got to be all kinds of blogging going on, whether it's the first preseason Bears game, Cubs, Sox, Olympics, everything.
Yeah.
You can leave your opinion if you'd like to, but you don't have to. What I like best is you can go there when you want to. So do us all a favor, check out SB Nation. See if sports blogging is for you.
Tim Calderwood joins us on the phone right now from the Schaumburg Boomers as baseball season's hitting a stretch run, especially for the Schaumburg Boomers. They play a shorter season.
Yeah, they do.
So the stretch run comes a little sooner. Welcome, Tim.
Good morning, gents. How you doing?
Are you on the road, Tim?
No, we actually we went to Evansville, Indiana, and we played one game over 3 days.
Oh.
So we got to go home last night because of the weather. So.
Wow, so you get to spend 3 days in Evansville with one baseball game, huh?
Sounds like you lost a bet.
We've had 5 straight games now that have been delayed or canceled due to rain. It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be bad when you're a broadcaster sometimes.
It's really boring is what it is.
Yeah, I heard that. So on the way back home now then?
No, we got back last night.
Oh, okay.
Because of the rain out. So we were supposed to play a doubleheader yesterday, which was supposed to start at 5 o'clock, but it got rained out because there was like a massive thunderstorm that came through at like 3 o'clock and completely soaked the field, and it was just a mess. So they called it at like 5:30, so we actually got to get out of there early, which was nice.
So Boomers are back home for the weekend then?
We are indeed home this weekend.
Okay.
Tonight's going to be awesome. It's another drone show, fireworks, with the world's largest marshmallow fight. I think the drone show is going to be Ghostbusters related is what I'm hearing. So should be a lot of fun.
That's cool. So a 3-game series this weekend. Who's in town, and how do the Boomers stand right now?
The Gateway Grizzlies are in town, and I would think I think the team was hoping that this week would kind of right the ship, but we only got one game in. So 35-32 is the record, still on the outside looking into the playoff race. But Gateway is here this weekend, who's currently sitting in second place in the division. They've won all 3 series between the teams this year. So this is kind of a big one. I mean, obviously we hit the month of August now, and it's the dog days of August. There's 29 games to go in the season. It's time to stop, kind of messing around and make your move and figure out if this is going to be a playoff team or not. And so I know there's a lot of decisions to be made in the coming days, and hopefully, this team starts to figure it out, because it's a really good team. I think I've said that all year. It's just crazy because they're getting hurt by one small mistake throughout the course of a game. But they're coming out of a win in Evansville on Wednesday, 8-2. So hopefully, like I said, that kind of sets the tone a little bit for the weekend, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right, Boomer's back in town. Another option for you this weekend, in a weekend full of what's going to be great weather, hot, sunny, and dry. Finally, Tim, I'm glad you're going to be pretty happy about that. Finally, dry tomorrow and Sunday at least.
Yay!
Right. So it's 8:46. Tim Calderwood with us. Where should we go next, Larry? You want to talk football or baseball?
Let's talk football.
Football?
Yeah, because there's something at least I can smile about. When you start talking Cubs, I'm not.
You drift off a little bit,
and we start talking about the White Sox. I just want to go home then. So
I can smile about Mike Tauchman's walk-off.
Me too. Me too. And my 9:30 is my bedtime, and 9:30 is when the game was about to go to the bottom of the ninth. And I talked myself into the fact that today was going to be Friday. I could give myself a few extra minutes to watch the bottom of the ninth, even though I had no faith the Cubs would come back, because that's the kind of season it's been. And finally, with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth inning last night, they woke up, Tim. They became the Cubs we thought maybe they could be for a few minutes with a 2-out rally. And Mike Tauchman's the man.
That's what I said, literally, too. The crazy thing is, because we were on the bus, right? Like, I had a chance to watch it on my iPad while we were driving, which was awesome. And I don't ever get a chance to kind of watch a game in full. And I was like, all right, well, this isn't going to happen. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like you said, it was, whoa, hey, cool.
Yeah, so at least they got game 1 against the St. Louis Cardinals. And I mentioned to Larry earlier, since we're quickly talking about baseball, despite Larry's wishes to not talk about baseball.
I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry you're a White Sox fan right now. That's all I can say.
Oh, gosh.
I had somebody point out to me, Tim, yesterday, and I told Larry this earlier in the show, that if you took the 2 long losing streak, well, 2 of many of the long losing streaks the White Sox have had this year, but the 2 longest ones, currently 17, and earlier this year 14, 31 wins, you take off their record, they would still have the worst winning percentage in Major League Baseball right now.
Wow.
31 wins, take it away. I mean, take 31 losses, take it away, and they're still.
How can you possibly put a product out like that? How could you? In any other business that we know of, how could you?
I think you're going to get ready for the Nashville White Sox in a couple of years.
Oh, man, Tim.
Yeah, could be so. All right, football talk then. So what are we going to talk about, Larry? I mean, none of the starters played last night. The Bears won 21-17, but it was meaningless. So,
no, I know that. I think, though, that in a way I kind of took it as a way, one, to see who's behind, who's going to be down the depth chart. But I kind of like seeing how the teams, how the coaching staff and stuff seem to have even those people prepared. The first series for the Texans, the defense did not look good. The Bears' defense did not look good. I thought they looked a little slow, but it was like all of a sudden they kind of built up their momentum. They were flying around a little bit more. I thought they were playing good ball, even though they weren't the starters. I thought that they were around the ball. When a guy caught a ball, there was a lot of people around him. They were tackling okay. Yeah. So I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
So, quick note, do we have a battle for the backup quarterback position?
I think we will.
Yeah.
I mean, Brett Rippon he was probably the only highlight of last night in terms of somebody that stood out at you.
Right. Yeah.
Is Tyson Bagent in trouble of not making this team?
Or being what do they call the third
practice squad guy?
Yeah. Or they maybe some other team will say, he'd be a good backup for us. I don't know.
I don't think Bagent's proven enough yet to be that attractive for another team, but I think he's still a guy that would accept a role as a practice squad guy. I mean, but it's funny because last year he was the one that beat out what's his face that went to the Cleveland Browns later in this.
Peterman last year.
Peterman and Walker.
Yeah.
was it guy Walker that they had signed to be the backup quarterback for Justin Fields last year, and he ended up going to the Cleveland Browns later in the season when Browns were having such quarterback issues.
Yeah.
But so Bagent won the backup quarterback job last year by good preseason play, but you got to believe that Rippon is a more gifted natural quarterback than Bagent is.
And I'm not taking away anything from Bagent because he was an interesting guy last year.
Yeah.
But I think the number 2 quarterback also has some cerebral jobs that you expect from him to kind of keep track of and bring to the table. And there's a chance that Rippon might fill that role a little bit more too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you're talking about what's the point of having a backup quarterback like with a rookie QB, you kind of want someone there who's been around the NFL a little bit.
Exactly right. Yeah. Now, we're going to get off the topic a little bit only because I know we'll be moving along. I kind of was interested in and I do not profess to even understand them well enough to give an explanation of the new kickoff rules. But it seemed like a whole lot of to do about nothing last night.
What happened?
Well, they changed everything, Mark.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of rules.
So you have to declare when you're going to do an onside kick now.
Yes. And the people up front have to be in a 3-point stance.
And you can't move until the other team catches the ball.
Yes.
Because the Bears got flagged apparently for a couple penalties on it yesterday. But the NFL didn't really clear it up until this week, so I can't believe that they would. I mean, you would have expected a couple penalties because they haven't had a chance to.
I know, and it's a hybrid from I think the XFL.
Yeah, what they're trying to do is bring back the kickoff return.
Right.
But the problem is, and I was talking about this with someone the other day, kickers' legs have gotten stronger now, right? Like when you thought about a 50-yard field goal being a question mark, a 50-yard field goal is now like almost in that automatic spot. You can almost go back to 55 yards and make it automatic. So with the better legs, there's going to be a lot of touchbacks. If anything, I think they should have moved back where they started kicking off from, but I think they already tried that, if I'm not mistaken, too. But now I think if you kick into the end zone for a touchback, it comes all the way out to like the 35-yard line or something.
It does.
Like that.
Well, it also has to do with there's rules about where the ball hits. It's strange. Plus, if it's a windy day and you have to have a holder, you get an extra man to hold it, but he has to grab the tee and go straight off the field.
Really?
Yes.
This sounds like something that's just
taking the onside kick out of it, which is no fun because
I know.
Like a surprise onside kick, right? Think about the Super Bowl that started with an onside kick to begin the second half.
Yeah.
And, I mean, everybody knows there's going to be an onside kick in the last minute of the game, but now you're kind of making it harder to do because teams know it's going to be coming and they can – I mean, they knew it was coming anyway, but it's just one of those things where I feel like the onside kick, even though it isn't successful, like it's still something you like to see regularly. And, you know, I think that's going to be – now you have to declare when you're going to do an onside kick because it changes how people line up. So
yeah. It was weird. But it didn't change anything as far as – the game itself. I mean, there was nothing that was decided because of the new kickoff rules. Nothing. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad there's going to be a lot more dynamic players back to try and return kickoffs now.
I would think so.
So you could see like some star guys going back there, which I don't necessarily know if that's the best idea either.
Yeah.
If they end up getting hurt, but I think part of the reason why they're doing it, they want to incentivize returns and they want to do it in a way that's safer. So that's why they're going to try and make it that basically guys aren't going at each other full speed ahead.
It's weird.
Justin Fields has new life as a kickoff returner for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Maybe so. I don't know.
All right, Tim. Well, thanks for being with us. Thanks sorry about the rain earlier this week plaguing your life, but I think we're going to have a mostly dry weekend, so welcome back to town, and good luck with the Boomers this weekend.
I love it. Visit boomersbaseball.com for tickets. Should be a fun weekend. Going to be really crowded out there tonight.
Thanks, Tim.
Take care, thank you, buddy. All right, Tim Calderwood. All right, Larry Jones.
I'll see you tonight, pal.
Yes, sir. We got some big dogs in the house. I see Mayor Dave Captain and City Manager Rick Kozel.
I know that.
Are going to join Anna Lalley for her show in just a few minutes. So stay tuned for all of that. Fridays with the Finest is coming up next right here on WRMN.
Thanks, everybody.
With your AM 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Sky Rizzi. Kane County Clerk John A. Cunningham is calling for election judges for the November 5th general election. You can earn $250 for serving. You can find details on the Kane County Clerk's website. In an update to a story that broke on Tuesday when 2 people were found dead following a shooting on Raymond Street in Elgin, police have now identified one victim as 47-year-old Gina Benfield. The investigation of the incident is ongoing. Mark your calendars for the annual Taste of Batavia and Block Party, which returns on September 1st. Join the city of Batavia downtown from 4 to 9 p.m. at the Peg Bond Center. $3 tastings of local flavors. The event is in conjunction with Batavia Main Street. With your AM 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Kernan.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk.
Life hack.
Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher end auto pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance, because giving you options is the right thing to do.
Oh yeah, like bringing brownies to a dinner party. But I never bring brownies with nuts, because not everyone likes nuts, so they wouldn't eat those brownies. And even people who do like nuts will still eat brownies without them. Why? Because they're brownies.
But still, it's the right thing to do. So compare rates with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you...
WRMN has been serving Elgin and the Fox Valley for 75 years, featuring a combination of local news, information, and entertainment in the mornings, followed by the radio shopping show for 5 hours each weekday. The first shift with Marky B starts your morning at 6 a.m., and it's always fun when Larry Jones is a part of the show.
Maybe we need to get a radio intern in to help.
Maybe so.
Somebody that you won't have to pay and you can treat them tough.
I can haze them.
Can't haze. You'll get fired. Remember that guy from Northwestern?
Yeah.
Gone.
Did he really do it?
You don't have to really do it. If somebody says you did,
yeah,
good enough. Maybe I'm going to accuse you of hazing me. I don't have to prove it.
And then there'll be a lot of people that come out of the and say that I also hazed
I
him.
remember when Mark hazed me. I've been hazed.
Mark hazed me back in 2012.
2012. I remember in Memphis one time. He was really mean to me.
It's first shift fun and information in the morning, combined with the radio shopping show to save you money. And you get it right here on WRMN AM 1410, WRMN 1410 Radio on Facebook, and WRMN1410.com.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN. At the Paris Olympics on Thursday, Katie Ledecky is now the most decorated American woman in Olympic history. She won a silver medal in the 4x200-meter relay. Another big win for Simone Biles. The American gymnast captured the gold in the all-around competition Thursday. She's just the third woman to earn the title multiple times and the first to do it in non-consecutive Olympic Games. Team USA women's basketball beat Belgium 87-74 Thursday. It assures them a spot in next week's quarterfinals. Team USA men's basketball Group C action continues on Saturday when they take on Puerto Rico. The NFL preseason officially kicked off last night in Canton, Ohio. Chicago beat Houston 21-17 in a game that was shortened due to lightning and heavy rain.
Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive.
I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We can get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we can take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk.
Life hack.
Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher end auto pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410 Elgin time. 9 o'clock.
The Elgin Police Department is dedicated to working in partnership with the community to promote safety and enhance the quality of life by serving with professionalism, encouraging open communication, and embracing diversity.
Engaged.
Partnering with our citizens and involved in our community.
Progressive.
Embracing innovative strategies while maintaining proven practices.
Dedicated.
Serving with integrity and professionalism. Elgin became an incorporated city in 1854 and installed its first police marshal, George W. Renwick. Over the years, the title of the head law enforcement officer changed from marshal to chief. And although the role has expanded, one duty has remained consistent: to ensure law and order for the citizens of Elgin.
It's time now for Fridays with the Finest, featuring Elgin's current police chief, Anna Lalley, on Elgin's hometown radio station since 1949, WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Friday morning continues here on WRMN. In fact, it's going to go all day, I think. And welcome to Fridays with the Finest here on a Friday morning from downtown Elgin. And we have quite the show here today, as it's a star-studded performance. Chief Anna Lalley's here.
I have the 2 stars with me. Yes,
I know. I was all, wow, here comes the Mayor Dave Captain and City Manager Rick
They have
Kozel.
that effect on people, yes.
I don't see you walking in with some of the big names of Elgin like this all the time.
So every now and then, I think today what I wanted to do is talk a little bit about those experiencing homelessness in Elgin, and talk a little bit about, what's been happening in the city. I know there's been an article in the Daily Herald a couple of weeks ago because of the recent Supreme Court case. So I want to make sure that the community has the right information, and I thought it was appropriate to bring Mayor Captain on, and then also City Manager Kozel, because there's a lot of things that I think a lot of conversations have been going on. Sometimes there's a lot of misinformation. So I think, letting people know what's happening, what that Supreme Court case actually says, what we can actually do, what is the philosophy of the city, and, how we're going to move forward. So I asked him to come on and just, and if anyone wants to call in, if anyone has any specific questions about anything, please do. We welcome calls. And so if anyone has any pressing questions about, what is the city doing about, tent city? What is the city doing about homelessness? What are the police going to do? This is the great opportunity for us to have this conversation. So
awesome. Yeah.
Before I do that, though, I want to really quickly mention, because National Night Out is next week on Tuesday. So just as a reminder, we have a few parties, throughout the city, officer-hosted parties. Check out our Facebook, Officer Alva on Spring Street, Payne on Park Street, Henke on Highland, Gallagher on Grove, Ayala on Mulberry, and Juarez on
Is that alliteration on
purpose? I was going to say, did you put the names with the streets? Like
I did.
H with H and
you see that? That's,
G with G.
I didn't even recognize. Yes. Everyone, now that you're saying it. But all of our information is on Facebook. But again, these parties start at 5 o'clock. Officer Gallagher's, which is the downtown area here, which will be at Grove and DuPage Court, starts at 6. Mulberry at 6 and Amanda at 6. So check out our Facebook for more information. We're really excited to see the community. It's probably my second favorite night. The first one being Nightmare on Chicago Street. That's my favorite night.
Is it really?
Yes, I love that event. And
you gotta work it all the time, though, right?
That's okay, though. Yeah. But really enjoying the community and getting to talk to people and see seeing what's going on and what we can do to help. So looking forward to it. Hopefully we have some good weather, maybe, hopefully.
For next Tuesday, yeah. I haven't really looked that far ahead yet, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah.
Okay, so that's really all I wanted to cover in terms of the police department.
Yeah, we did have the murder-suicide this week, but we don't have much more news other than we're waiting for the identity of the, person that committed the suicide after the...
Yeah, so it usually takes, if you remember from our last incident with a homicide, it takes a little bit of time for that information to come out. So anything that's current has been posted on our social media. If there are any updates, we'll make sure to let the community know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll continue to talk about that as time goes on. I guess domestic violence, it continues to seem to rise, and we seem to see more incidents like this, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we will talk, especially with October being Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I'll have Joanne and her ladies on here to talk about what we do, how we can do it, some services. We also have a domestic violence walk coming up in October, so more to come on that.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to really kind of just give an overview and then ask the mayor to maybe, start and give his thoughts. But, there's been a lot of questions in terms of, tent city and what is happening with homelessness and, what can the city do and what are the plans? And so City Manager Kozel at the City Council meeting last week kind of gave a really high-level overview of what the intentions of the city are in terms of how are we going to solve this problem. A lot of times I think people think that, it's a just do this and then this will fix it. So those are short-term solutions that not necessarily really reflect the complexities of what you're dealing with and how to do it in a humane way that still gives people their dignity, but also addresses the community members' concerns. So, Mayor, do you want to maybe start off a little bit in talking just an overview?
Sure. We had, this has been obviously an ongoing thing as long as I can remember. And as a city councilman on planning as to how we address the homeless situation in Elgin, and it's going on around the entire country. And there's no easy answer here. And I always say if there was an easy solution here and money could fix it, California would have fixed it a long time ago. And I think a good start would be the governor out there just gave permission and asked that many of those tent residents get removed from cities and allowed people to do that and encouraged them. So I think that is going to be kind of a starting point for the country as to how these do. But I always worry about unintended consequences. You got to be careful. We set aside money. Rick can talk more about that. A year or so ago, we've been working on this and looking at properties and trying to figure out how exactly we're going to address this. We can't talk specifically about what properties we're doing or what our thoughts are now because of you start getting into issues with neighbors that they shouldn't have, and we get into issues with property costs. If they see the government's interested in buying a property or looking at something, costs go up. So we're pretty closed-mouthed about those kind of things. But I think it's important that we're sitting down now, we're having these discussions as to where to go. I guess our philosophy's been we want to try to make this a final solution. We set aside money to do this, but I guess I anticipate the cost will be in the millions of dollars if we do something with a permanent type shelter or housing. One of the things that we have issues that we have to address is we can buy a property, we can build a building, but who's going to operate that for the next 25 or 30 years? And those costs will be burdens back on the communities. And I virtually think every city in the United States is struggling with that. How are we going to move forward with this? And at the end of the day, I think we'd all I think if you interview everybody, we'd like people to receive the help that they need and to get them out of those roles and to get them back into a useful part of society. My feelings have been for a long time that there are people that you're never going to be able to help, that they have issues that they're not going to get better, so they're going to become permanently part of our community or part of our city that we have to pay for. One of the things I'm concerned about when we start talking about going in and looking at this in a blanket way and just say, well, let's treat everybody the same. They're not all the same. We have people, 15 to 20% of the people that are homeless are veterans and serve the country. And for one issue or another, they are now homeless. And we said, we have a VA that can help them. We can redirect people. Other people have mental issues, mental illness. And I want to say that we have done things. And people kind of lose track of that. We just opened a thing. We did the opening for Hanover Landing on Chicago Street. And that facility is 50 apartments that were designed and meant for people that have mental issues. Those people, many of them could have been homeless. And they were in an apartment, they receive assistance. They have, ECHR has to oversee that building and to help those people make sure that they are receiving the help that they need, making sure that they're taking the meds if they need their meds. Same thing worked for us with AID at the old Larkin Center on Larkin Avenue. That was a facility that was going to be geared towards people that have learning disabilities. And they are also people that were struggling to get places to stay. So the federal government now is looking at it a little bit different way. They're saying if we give you funding, we want to make sure that you have people there to take care of this. And that's the last two that we've done. And to be honest, these are showcases. People have come from other communities to look at these facilities to see how we're doing it in Elgin. And these are, I always call it the ripple effect. So we've provided housing for through private public partnerships for people that have issues. So I feel some of those people have come off the streets. They're moving in here, and it causes a ripple effect and opens up other apartments for people and other places for people to stay. One final thing. We have talk about it sounds easy. Why don't we find a place for these people to stay? We don't have a place for people to stay. There isn't a place. If you look at apartments in Elgin, I get this update from the chamber every month or two. There are about 110 rental units available in the city of Elgin. 110 out of almost 6,000. There is no place to send people. So we have issues here. These are long-term. We have short-term issues. We have long-term issues. So it's not a simple answer to say we're going to wave a magic wand and fix it. That ain't going to happen. So now I've talked too long already.
No,
see what happens.
You're fine.
You
yes.
see what
So,
happens.
I think just a couple things with the mayor, and then City Manager Kozel here can kind of give his perspective too. So the Supreme Court case that has been in the news recently, the past couple of weeks, which has kind of like spurred the conversation. This conversation has been going on in Elgin for many, many years. I can tell you, I've been a police officer in my 29th year, and this has always been a topic of conversation.
Right.
And how the city responds and what we do, it ebbs and flows in terms of, are we moving people are we just displacing people to another area and not really, solving the long-term problem. So really, over the past few years, taking a comprehensive look, and the council's had many conversations about it. And as the mayor said, it's not just an overnight fix, right? And you have to think about strategically, where will people go and how and what will be the unintended consequences that could then come of that. You solve one problem here, you just start another problem there. The Supreme Court case ban, the ruling that upheld the ban on sleeping outdoors, we get asked quite frequently whether it's with loitering or what we can do. I want to stress the police officer address behaviors, right? Actions. Our philosophy falls on enforcement when it's appropriate, right? So what are the people actually doing that we can take enforcement action on? Education to our community, to our business owners, to the officers in terms of this is what we can do. This is where we're kind of restricted here. We can't violate people's rights because people don't like what something looks like. We can't do that. And then also the engagement, right? We created our collaborative crisis services unit. We work with social service providers in the community. That I will tell you, that unit and the officers, I've had them on the show. Frequently, you will see people who are, whether they're service resistant or they need some help. They are in and out of the police department getting help, getting services. Sometimes when people walk in and they say, I have no place to go, I have no money, I don't know how to access my benefits that may be given to me because I'm a veteran or because I have some type of, I fit into some, something where I am or could get some help from whoever it is, but I don't know how to access it. So that person walking in there takes months to actually get them to a place where they're situated, they have a house, they have at least some wraparound services to continue to address the issues or concerns that maybe got them there to begin with, right? And to the mayor's point, some people are service resistant. They choose to live the way that they live, and it's not for anybody in the world to tell somebody how you can and cannot. No one would want that. If I come in here and tell you, Mark, you need to do A, B, and C, I can tell you I know what your answer is going to be, right? No.
Probably so, yeah.
Yeah, I know that, right? So you take that philosophy and you take it to, to this issue that has been a long issue that the city has been dealing with. And I think most importantly, the city continues to be a welcoming and humane city, right? And so is the police department. So City Manager Kozel, do you want to talk a little bit about what you had talked about at the council meeting and in terms of, what is the actual, what are we going to do?
Sure. Thanks, Chief. Mark, thanks for having me this morning. Chief, thanks for inviting the
thanks
mayor
for coming
and me
in
as well. So Assistant City Manager Karina Nava, about 3 years ago, began spearheading the initiatives that are bringing the city to the point right now where we're getting closer to having or being able to identify a solution for the relocation of the housing that's occurring in it's what commonly referred to as Tent City. with her work within the community social service agencies, determining what the network of support is, and taking and working diligently to determine what is the actual population of the homelessness community in Elgin. We know that depending on conditions, numbers can ebb and flow, so we want to get a good sense of what that population is, because if we are going to be reaching out and providing housing, we want to do it for what has been the traditional population, but there's a recognition we can't do this for everyone. So during the 3 years that she's been working on this in concert with One Collective, a service provider that's been helping the city with its warming shelters in the winter, we're seeing a population, an Elgin population of about 100 individuals. People might say that there's more of that, but the numbers that we have based on point-in-time surveys are showing we need to find housing for about 100 individuals. Unlike California or some of the other areas where there's a plethora of motels that are available for purchase or rental, we don't have that luxury in the Elgin market. We have a strong market. There aren't properties that are for sale. So one of the more practical solutions, finding motel rooms to rent or purchasing a property that can then be managed by a social service agency, has not panned out. So that has in turn then forced the city to begin looking for alternatives where we can create temporary housing that would then be used as a first step before persons experiencing homelessness would move into what's called permanent supportive housing. Permanent supportive housing is a long-term stable, it's a brick and mortar building. But as we know, there isn't even enough housing for straight up single family dwellings or apartments. So we know that permanent supportive housing is something a little bit farther down the line. So the focus now has been, what can we do to identify a location that can create temporary housing for these 100 or so individuals that are in Tent City? And I need to get back, the Supreme Court decision, as the chief has said, hasn't had any immediate, any real impact on the city. As the chief has said, when criminal behavior is observed, there is enforcement. But in terms of those types of status crimes, where you're, again, passively sitting on a park bench or just sleeping in a park, it's not something that we've focused on because we know that there isn't a solution. Taking action to find somebody who doesn't have any money or move them out of one location simply to push them down to another area, we know that that isn't effective.
I mean, I think the ultimate goal, too, because the community, and some of the conversation is, Tent City has been in place for a very long time. And to eventually be able to say there is no longer a tent city, which is the goal of what we're trying to accomplish here, you have to have something in place, right? A strategy, structures, people who can come and manage it, right? And eventually we're working towards it. And then the second thing is, once that is in place, what's the next question? People will say, well, what's going to stop people from starting another tent city, right? So I think talking about it and making sure that everybody knows what's going on, and that the temperament is, if we do have a place and there are services in place that people can access, that is not going to be, it's not tolerated any further because we have something for you to go where, right? So it's different now because we don't have that something in place, right? So, you can't, you tell people to leave an area, okay, they leave an area. If you cite them, okay, you cite them, then probably more than likely they're just going to go back to the same place, right? So that logic, there's failure in that logic all around. You need to have something that's in place where people can access it, that there's services, being mindful that people have the right to do whatever they want to do, again, as long as they're not, infringing on other people's ability to live in peace, right? So again, when we talk about addressing behaviors, if you're sitting on a park bench, and you and I talked about this a lot during COVID, right? If you're sitting in a park bench minding your own business is one thing. But if you're sitting on a park bench and you're drinking open alcohol and you're throwing things at people and you're starting fights, that's a whole nother situation that we're talking about, right? So the law enforcement perspective, and unfortunately, a lot of times people look to law enforcement to say, solve this, right? What are you guys doing? It's like, well, there's so many layers to this, the socioeconomic status of people. Is there affordable housing? What are the issues that maybe that they're dealing with that don't have a nexus to the police department? But we're very aware of that, and we understand that people look to us, which is why we're involved in these conversations. We are creating units to address some of these issues because we can't just say, well, that's not our problem, right? So do you have some questions for the mayor and city manager?
Well, we do have 2 calls, but I do have one thought based on what you guys have talked about so far, and I think about all the time, like if they're, let's just say there, for the sake of conversation, that there are 100 people in Tent City. I wonder, of those 100 people, how many of those 100 people, because I would think it would be a fairly high amount, or at least half, would be resistant to want to have their lives improved in any way. So even if you decide to, if you build this facility and you offer these services, and you still have half of the current population of Tent City that says, no, I want to do what I want to do. I want to do drugs. I want to do alcohol. I want to live free. I don't want to listen to anybody's rules. Then you still have 50 people that you got to figure out what to do with, right? And you still run into the same problem with, what are we going to do? Arrest them for sleeping in the park? Well, if we do, then we're going to be letting them right back out of jail again.
I think that's, so to your first point, when part of creating a structure and a plan and a strategy is to go in there and to have these individual conversations with people to see what are the individual needs. And you would be surprised. Some people, they don't know how to access services. They don't know that it's available. So, that 50-50 that you're kind of saying, it may be higher, it may be less. We don't know until we go and ask. So once we get to a point where we're able to do that, that's part of the strategy, going in there, educating. What do you need? Like, this is not going to be a one day, hey, let's go down to Tent City. This is going to be over months of what are the individual needs of people and really touching base. 100 people is a lot, but it's really not a lot. When you look at the big context, you can have individual conversations with people where we get social workers involved and talking about what are the needs and what's going on. And then hopefully in that, it drives our strategy. It drives like, okay, if we know 30 people are not, they want to do whatever you just said, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well then we have to let them know this no longer exists. So this cannot happen here because here's your options, right? You got to give people options. And I will tell you, there was a person that Joanne Stingley for years, I would say she was service resistant, and over 2 years, Joanne was able to place her into housing, and that was just a persistent conversation. So, because at first she didn't want it, she wanted to just do whatever she wanted to do, and Joanne was able to, through her, conversations, checking in, and eventually people might get there, right? I mean, but yes, there is, to your point, to acknowledge that there is a portion of people who will just say no, thank you, and that's okay. But it just can't happen here, right? And then we just have to stay on top of it because now the philosophy and the, what we do to shift to kind of make sure that doesn't happen is being well known in advance, right? And we're advertising it, we're talking about it, and we're flagging it and saying this is happening. It's just a matter of time, and will be our response. Instead of just we're going to do this, and all of a sudden people are like, what's going on? Why is that happening, right? So it's a little bit about the thinking ahead of time.
Okay. Well, should we take a call or two real quick?
Yeah. Did you have any questions for the mayor or for city manager Kozel?
I was an assistant.
I know.
Once.
I was
That's
I was thinking about
That's
Karina.
Fine. No, I know.
Yes, which I also want to mention too. Assistant City Manager Karina Nava has done a lot of work on this in the past 3 years, and I want to acknowledge that because I think she doesn't. She's quietly in the background doing a lot of stuff, and she's working very, very hard. So I appreciate her efforts.
Is the tiny houses idea that's been kind of in limbo for a while now still in the works, or now with the whole Supreme Court decision coming down, is this all being reassessed again?
It's still one of the options that we're looking at. Let's put it that way. And we're seeing what other communities are doing has been successful some places, but again, success is sometimes relative. It can be short term. And I think one of the things that the chief touched on a little bit, they asked me a few years ago to speak at a meeting of the social service agencies in Elgin. And I think two things are important here. Three things, actually. Well, one is that this is a regional issue. It's not just Elgin. And I had a mayor of one of the cities around us come to me, and we're having a conversation about homelessness. And he said, Dave, I'm going to tell you, we don't have any homeless people. And he said, we bring them to Elgin.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not proud of that. He said, but we do not have these social agencies to deal with it. So we're a city, and that's what a city does. So let's make that clear here, that some of these people are coming. I'm hearing from other people now that other communities are seeing homeless people show up in their communities as well. I said two things to them when we started this. I said, first, don't think that you're going to wave a wand here and fix this problem, because you're never going to do it. Because more people will become homeless. They have different ideas. And don't think that everybody wants to live like you, because they don't. And some of these people, to your point, this is exactly what they want to be. And we start running into problems when you can't arrest them. What's the sense of arresting them if they're going to be back out there? And we can make laws. Rick and I can make ordinances. The chief can make laws. But the laws of the Constitution will override all of those things. And this is their doorstep. This is where these people live. So you got to be careful when you cross their threshold, because the Constitution comes in and protects their rights. So that's kind of where we're struggling along with this, and every community is doing the same thing.
I mean, are they still on the line, or did they?
Well, we have one caller on the line.
Okay, we can take their call and just see if there's something.
I think this might not be related to the conversation, but let's see real quick.
Sure.
Linda Carter checking in this morning with us.
Okay.
Hey, Linda, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Well, it was and it wasn't.
Okay.
And I want to talk, Chief Aletta, I want to tell her, I commend her police. You said on the oath, I was talking about that lady getting killed and everything. That's what I want to talk to you about. But I have a friend that have a really bad daughter that got mental problems. Every time her peoples came out here, they was really good. They let her mother and father calm her down and everything. And this about the third time they'd have been out here, and I'm so glad. You say people never hear about bad. They want to talk about the bad cops. But I commend her cops all the time. When they come out here for this young lady, they really on chief. It really is. So this is the good thing about Elgin police. You can say anything bad, but I commend them. This is the third time I've seen her come out here for this young lady. And it could have been worse, like that little lady down in Southern Illinois. But they really have respect for the parents, and they let the parents calm her down and get her in the ambulance and everything. That's what I wanted to say earlier. But another thing about the homeless, y'all really Mark, you kind of took my questions, from me. I was going to ask about the homeless. But, you had talked about building houses in 2024 for the homeless and stuff in Elgin. Is that still on? Because like you said, everybody ain't going to agree to being, coming to a place or doing something. And, and like I said the other day, I was joking. I kind of understand because, trying to, go into daily life and stuff, you get depressed trying to pay bills, do this, keep up with rent, and everything you do, I understand that because I'm going through a lot of stuff. And like I was laughing, I said, I should go to Kent City. I hate to say that because, it's a struggle. In Elgin, I think the housing, the prices and everything, even for apartment, and you get in low income, that's another thing. You have to be on the waiting list for a long time. And I think that's what discourages people, too, when you're looking for houses around here. You have to wait so many years to be, on housing, So, but you kind of answered my questions about housing and things. But I just want to tell the chief, the police is doing a good job.
Well, thank you, Linda. I appreciate your kind words, and I will make sure to pass on that message to the officers who were dealing with that situation. I know you and I had talked a couple weeks ago, and again, I'm extremely proud of the men and women of the police department and how they handle calls for service that are very tough and very, very hard, and they do an exceptional job. So thank you, Linda. I appreciate you. You have a great weekend. Okay.
You have a hard time. You too. You guys have a blessed day.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, Linda.
Bye.
Bye-bye. 9:29. This time flies. There's so much we could talk about. This show's too short for this conversation.
Yes, maybe we bring them back, right?
Yeah.
We bring the superstars back. So I gotta check their schedules though, because they're a little bit busy. But as we just end the show here, I just want to if anyone has any questions, please let us know. We can have a follow-up conversation maybe in a month or so, and I'll ask if they can maybe clear their schedules, and we can kind of keep this conversation going. But it's important that people have the right information. Check out the city council meetings. Give us a call, be informed, ask the questions, ask the hard questions, and make sure that we have this conversation, because eventually when things do move it's important that people have the right information. So thank you, Mayor, for coming on. Thank you, City Manager Coleswell. I appreciate everything. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you guys. And so I guess in summary, real quick, as we wrap up, where would you say we are now? We are in the process of trying to figure out the next step for the people that are living in Tent City. I guess that's
I would say that is an accurate yes. That we are in the process, and there is a direct push to make sure that we're moving forward, so that 5 years from now, that this conversation is not continuing. That has been going on for a very long time.
Well, that's Yes.
Yep.
So this is something different than that's happened over the past 20 some odd years.
I think the momentum and the conversations and the timing and I think it's all coming together for a productive, humane, positive way to address the concerns.
But we can't give a timetable to it, really.
No,
really.
I would say things take time, but there's obviously the urgency is recognized.
Okay. Thanks a lot for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fridays with the finest here on WRMN. And coming up next, Steve Thoren. He's around the corner. He will come in, and we'll have the Senior Community Spotlight Show. Keep it right here on WRMN.
Microsoft has new computers that put AI first, this special category called Copilot Plus PCs. They have minimum specs plus a chip just for AI. The company unveiling the first Surface devices with the designation, powered by Qualcomm chips, not Intel. One notable AI feature is called Recall. It lets your computer remember everything you do so that you can find files, images, and websites later. More tech news tips on Rich on Tech.
Every Saturday from 1 to 4, right here on WRMN.
Anderson Japanese Gardens, ranked the highest quality Japanese garden in North America and located right in the heart of Rockford. Their mission is to open minds to a different culture while offering a place of peace and tranquility where one can find healing, renewal, inspiration, and a re-energized soul. A premier destination for corporate functions, special events, weddings, and receptions. For directions, hours, and fees, visit andersongarden.org today.
Bender Dental Care, located at 217 North McLean Boulevard in Elgin. Bender Dental wants everyone to be informed, appreciated, and cared for at all times. To prove it, they now offer a new patient exam for just $29. That includes consult, x-ray, exam, and cleaning. Let Bender Dental help you have healthy teeth and gums for a lifetime. Located at 217 North McLean Boulevard in Elgin. Visit benderdentalcare.com.
Everyone has a community to lean on. A neighborhood, school, kids' teams, where you worship, work out, or any other place or group where you choose to belong. Communities can provide support when you need it, and even when you don't know you do. Like when it comes to preventing underage drinking and other substance use. You've talked with your kids and shared clear expectations, but you're not with them every minute. Your community members, friends and relatives, teachers and coaches, faith leaders, and other important adults in your kids' lives can be your eyes, ears, and a supportive influence when you're not around, reinforcing your messages with your kids and alerting you to warning signs of underage drinking or other substance use. So talk with your kids about these issues and involve the members of your community to help keep your kids safe, because when you talk, they hear you.
Clocking out, drive home with the Drive Time Deal with Matt McNeil on WRMN 1410 AM every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. I bring you the hottest deals in town, the most intriguing stories, and the tracks that take the edge off rush hour. Tune in on 1410 AM. Catch us on YouTube Live at WRMN Radio or stream through our app. I've got the wheel to steer your evening right. WRMN 1410 AM, your home of radio shopping and the soundtrack to your commute.
Rise and shine, Fox Valley listeners. It's time to kickstart your day with First Shift with Marky B on WRMN 1410 AM. From 6 to 9 a.m., join the chatter that gets you clued in with the latest buzz around town. Don't just sip on your coffee. Let Marky B brew your morning with the perfect mix of news, views, and moves. Dial us in or live stream at WRMN1410.com and make your mornings a whole lot brighter. WRMN 1410 AM. We're the voice of the Valley, and we're here to talk.
welcome to the Senior Community Spotlight Show on this Friday morning as we welcome Steve Thoren to the show after busy Fridays with the Finest today. So I'm trying to get all my bearings straight. I think we got things under control. Welcome to your show, Steve. How you doing?
Hey, Marky B. Always good to be here, and great to hear the chief and the mayor and the city manager. And the homeless situation in Elgin, as you know and I know, and it's such a challenge. It is not an easy thing to deal with.
No.
And the biggest challenges were that the city wants to help some of them, and some of them don't want help.
Right.
And what do you do?
And because of that, you wonder, in a city like ours, which provides services for the homeless, and where other communities refer their homeless population to, if this is a problem that in this city can ultimately ever be totally fixed. That's I mean, even these great solutions and these great studies, and I'm not saying they're not great ideas, and I hope that we can eradicate a lot of the problem, but can you ever permanently fix the problem like this in a city like ours?
Yes, I don't see how you can, because as the population of the world continues to grow, percentages within all the different cities of homeless is going to continue to grow. And you've got so many people that don't want help. They don't want to get back on their feet. Some of them that want to, that strive for it, PADS, Lazarus House, they're doing a wonderful job, and they're growing and getting bigger with more funding and helping more people that want to improve their lives. But you've got more and more all the time that just have decided that they don't want to do anything but exist. And the government better pay for it, because that's the way it is. And what do you do? The mayor used the word humane. Well, humane comes at a cost in numerous ways to cities like Elgin. And besides financial cost, the appearance cost, and what do you do? But let's move on from that, and that's another topic down the road. And now we can talk about some other fun stuff. Well, hi, everybody, and happy Friday. I hope everyone had a good week out there. Steve Thoren here with another Community Spotlight program, and I am so fortunate, as are you listeners out there, that I'm joined here with our wonderful producer of the morning show and the host here, on-air personality, Trustee Marky B.
Hi, Steve. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Well, I put you up on that pedestal there, my friend.
Yeah, you did.
As you know, listeners, I always start my show with a dedication, most often a memorial, sometimes to a living persons, or even a place or an event. Well, my individual dedication this week is to a person. It's to the late Robert Carroll Mosley. Sadly, Robert, or Carroll as he was known, except for to thousands of his students that knew him simply as Mr. Mosley. He left us last week at the age of 91. He was born in rural log cabin country home on February 19th, 1933 in Bradley County, Arkansas. Mr. Mosley was a dedicated educator and musician. He graduated Warren High School in Warren, Arkansas, then college degrees from Arkansas Tech College and Drake University. He then proudly served in the United States Army Band. His teaching career spanned 48 years, including 24 years at Abbott Middle School, called Abbott Junior High, when I attended. I was in the choir with Mr. Mosley at the helm, and I was also in the Barber Shoppers. I remember he was upset with me when the day the Barber Shopper had their yearbook photo taken and I forgot my bow tie. Of all people to forget it, the guy that still wears one these days. I had a white turtleneck shirt on, so everyone else had bow ties, and I had just a big white band around my neck. But time moved on, and I think he got over being unhappy with me. Funny that now I've got over 50 bow ties. Mr. Mosley enjoyed fly fishing, and he even tied his own flies. Also, he enjoyed traveling, gardening, and he was an avid chess player. In his later years, he was quite the photographer, even teaching it at Judson College for 16 years, and was a professional wedding photographer. He and his late wife, Jane, traveled Europe, leading many college group tours. He was also the director of music at a few different local Elgin churches, while his wife was the organist. He leaves behind his son and daughter and 6 grandchildren. Yes, Mr. Mosley is gone now, but will be remembered by many. And may I say it was a pleasure to have known him and to be one of his students. He certainly made a difference in thousands of young people's lives. May he rest in peace. Well, Mark, one of those things when you remember a teacher that that stood out to you. You know, you had a lot of teachers all through your grade school and junior high and high school times. But you had a few that stood out, that you remembered, that you talked to more, that you just liked them better. I guess that's what you could say. And Mr. Mosley was certainly one of those. And it wasn't just by me. He was just a very likable teacher.
Yeah.
He took time out with people, and he worked with students, and he cared. Just a super, super nice man.
Yeah, that's nice when the teachers really teach because it's something that rewards them, and they really do truly care about their students.
You bet.
Yeah.
Well, he's gone now, as are so many that as we get older, the teachers are older than us, so they're going to be going. Well, we have some folks struggling with health issues out there, and we start out with you-know-who, your friend, my friend, everybody's friend, certainly Elgin's friend, George. He is struggling more than people think. I just want everyone to remind everyone to keep him in your thoughts and prayers. He's going through treatments, and you wouldn't know it, but he's a fighter, and he's doing way better than anyone would have thought, but he's struggling. So, George, our thoughts and prayers are with you, my friend. He might even be in Chicago getting a session today. Want to say hi to Gene. I know he's doing better. Arnie Lauber's brother, Ernie. Cindy way out west. But then a couple newbies on here, Mark, this week. We have dear friends that live a block away, Doug and Lynn. And Lynn has been suffering notably with back problems. And it's been affecting her standing, affecting her walking. And she took a tumble. And in the hardwood floor living room, she's at St. Joe, and she has to go to rehab now. Like I think they're going to probably go over to Aventura. And she's just, her birthday's the same day as my wife's, but she's between my wife and my age. She's about a year or two older than me. And so she's struggling. My thoughts and prayers go out to her. Please keep Lynn in your thoughts and prayers, listeners. And then, Mark, if you saw this in the news, this is rather traumatic. And I didn't realize when I first read about it until earlier this morning when another neighbor informed me that the people that live right next to me, and their name is Kirk and Tammy, wonderful, wonderful people.
Okay.
Their daughter is the one who was mauled by their own family dog.
Is that right?
And I didn't realize that, and it's a sad situation. If you read the story,
I did.
It was quite intense. Their young kid accidentally let the dog out loose, and the dog all of a sudden just snapped, I guess. I mean, it had a problem once 5 years ago. It had a issue where it bit the son,
right,
or the son-in-law of my neighbors. And then he had to stab the dog. He stabbed it, but the the dog recovered, and they felt that everything was okay. Well, they got a 5-year-old kid. It's been 5 years. I mean, everything's been fine. Well, now the dog got out loose. It was over off of Worth and High Street, and the dog was running after another dog, but the neighbor got that inside, and then it went to charge some man, and he jumped up on the hood of his car to get away from it. And then the owner, the man, went to try to put a leash on it, and it went after him, and he had to jump up onto a car. And then the wife, the mother, which is my friend's daughter, she tried to put a leash on it, and it went after her unexpectedly. It latched onto her. It bit her in the legs and then bit her in the arms, and it got a hold of her arm and would not let go. And I guess she was screaming in terror and pain. And finally, numerous people called 911, and the Elgin police arrived, and the officer shot the dog in the back leg, and the dog still wouldn't. Then the dog let loose and charged the officer.
Really?
And the officer had to shoot it in the head and kill it.
Huh?
And I mean, that's just what
is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah. Well, the daughter then, she was taken to the hospital, and then they flew her to a trauma center in Downers Grove. And they worked on her, and this was a week ago. Last week is when it happened, or else the very first part of this week, whenever. And she was able to go home, and she had a relapse, and also she was with child. And due to all of this, they had to induce labor, and the child's born 3 months early, but it is in ICU, and it's doing okay. But she is in rough shape with her arms.
The woman who was mauled by the dog was pregnant?
Yes. That was not notified. Nobody knew that.
Yeah.
I just found that out today.
Wow.
But just a major, unbelievable sequence of events, and it's just sad. So,
but the baby's okay though.
Supposedly, that's what I heard, that it is.
And the woman's going to be okay. She's just really roughed up.
Yes, and the baby's okay, but it's 3 months preemie.
Yeah.
And so that means it's going to be a while before it gets probably able to go home.
Yeah.
But that's a tough story.
Pit bull. It was a pit bull, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. They have a history.
They do. They have a history. I mean, they have many of them are just wonderful, caring dogs.
Right.
But if you're going to train a dog to be mean, that's the dog you do because of its strong jaws and no neck. I mean, it can latch on and it's not going to let go.
Right.
And
if you don't train the pit bull to be mean, if you're the nicest parent, let's say, to a pit bull as you possibly can be, they still have that I don't know, something inside of them that can make them snap at some point.
Well, evidently, that's certainly what happened here.
Yeah.
I mean, here they raised a kid that's up to 5 years old. It was 5 years that the last time or 4 years that it had an incident. So obviously it's been a fine dog ever since.
Yeah.
But as you put it, something snapped. And,
it seems to be the genes that the pit bulls have or whatever. I'm sure I'm not describing it the right way, that maybe causes that to be able to happen with that particular breed of dog.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on here and see if we can't find something a little more positive. Hello to all my listeners out there. And we'll just have to give a few more announcements and then finish with one song, and then I'll be back at noon with Music Memories. So I want to remind everybody that make sure you have Senior Services phone number, and it's 741-0404. They help seniors and seniors' families. Maybe you have an aging parent. Maybe you have an aging relative, an aging friend, and you have some questions, concerns, curiosities, whatever it is. They're there to help. They have so many opportunities of service that people are unaware of. And thanks for some of their social times as well. But the Senior Services Associates at 101 South Grove Avenue is a wonderful facility at Elgin. Elgin American Legion, they've got a fish fry tonight, and they've got so much going on over there all the time. Thursday night's Burgers, Steaks, and their Lightning game. Monday night's Queen of Hearts. The pot's getting up pretty big, Mark.
Yeah, it's 11,000 and some odd change right now.
Yep. The second Wednesday of every month, they have a free cruise night car show and deals on hot dogs and drinks. Stop in, check out some cool cars, and have some fun snacks. I think they always have a raffle as well. It's just a cool place. 820 North Liberty Street in Elgin. And speaking of fish fries, the Elgin Turners has one on the second and third Friday only. Second and third Friday only at the Turners. Say hi to Carrie if you go. The Elgin Eagles Club, they have a fish fry every Friday night. But the Eagles Club is getting ready for a big day tomorrow, Marky B, as you know.
Yes.
I'm going to be taking at least one car out there.
Yeah.
So I'll be out there. I know quite a few members of our club will be out there. And we go to the Eagles for our winter banquet. They, we pay them for the room rental and through their caterer, and they treat us so well. Wonderful place.
It's a nice big wide open place, and
it's a cool field to have a car show.
It is, and that's actually who I've been texting here a little bit lately is Miss Karen Dowling, who's very much in charge of has been of promoting the event tomorrow. And
well, her husband's really the main man for putting on the car show, Terry Dowling. He does a great job of it.
This will be the third year. Mm-hmm. I think the hippie van might appear tomorrow.
Hey, I think that'd be a good addition.
Yeah.
And we need to get you a fancy sign, 1974 hippie van. Remember these? Something like that.
Yeah, 73, but yeah.
Oh, yours is the 73. That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
I'm guessing that Roger Taylor will have his van out there because I think he did last year. So we might have dueling hippie vans.
You should park next to each other. You should communicate.
Arch rival vans.
Yes.
Yeah, tomorrow, possible.
I remember when those vans started getting customized in the 70s. And I saw one going through downtown Elgin, and it had a porthole window on the side.
Yeah.
That had been put in. And it had a fancy paint job, like misting work, and fancy tires and wheels. And on the back, it had a spare tire with a cover on the spare tire. And the painting on the spare tire cover said, "Don't laugh. Your daughter might be inside."
I don't know if you could do that anymore.
I still remember that.
Yeah.
Listeners, remember to visit the Elgin History Museum and the Elgin Public Museum and check out the Elgin Zoo over at Lord's Park. What a wonderful thing. Marky B, how are we doing on time here?
5 minutes, sir.
5 minutes, sir. I want to leave a good couple minutes for a song at the end.
So about 3 minutes, sir.
All right, we got about 3 minutes. Don't forget, listeners, Anderson Humane, think about the option of fostering a pet. I'm hearing more and more and seeing it on Facebook. There are so many pets that need adoption or care for. And fostering's a great option for seniors. It would give you some incredible company, and it would give the needing animal a home. It would help you both. Please give it a thought. Feel free to call me, and I can connect you. My number is 847-840-7319. And Anderson, by the way, even helps people like litter box service. They have crisis boarding if something happens to you. They have specials for veterans. They offer so many services. And we need pet food. I'm always getting some here and there, but I sure need a lot of pet food for seniors that need it. If anybody can help with pet food, you could bring it here to the station, or you could call me and I'll come and get it right off your porch. Just set it on the porch. anything like that. Maybe you have a pet and you can't finish your pet food, or you bought some extra. Or when you do go to the store, buy an extra bag. Give us a call. Whatever you can do is very, very valuable and important. Don't forget Elgin Time Radio. Elgin History Radio program is on the second Tuesday at 9:05. So basically 9 o'clock is Elgin Time Radio, and that'll be right here on your AM dial, 1410, or on YouTube and the internet.
Yes.
The week after that, Sherry Senior Showcase. What a great program right here on WRMN. Make sure you tune in. That's the third Tuesday at 9:05. Marky B, it's about time for me to send it back over. But I encourage all you listeners out there, keep listening to WRMN. I talked to someone the other day. They said they're kind of tired of the changes that are constantly happening. But the station's just trying to improve, and they're going to get things nailed down. Please stay tuned in, stay listening, and if you like a show or don't like a show, voice your opinion.
Yep.
That's how they're learning. And so different shows are coming and different shows are going, and I'm proud to be part of it. So WRMN is an asset to this town. Where else can you find out about local news, history, weather? It's raining in Pingree Grove, so it's doing Elgin in 1 minute.
Wow.
No place else. Marky B loves talking about Pingree Grove.
Sure.
And
Gilbert's.
And Gilbert's.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank a veteran every day, and thank a policeman and a fireman too. And if you get a chance, give a call. Thank Chief Anna Lalley for leading the police department, the #1 in the state.
Like Linda Carter did.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
She sure thanked him. That's a great thing, Linda. Thank you, Linda. I'm so glad you're feeling better. I will always stand for the American flag, for the flag will stand for me. And you know, Mark, oftentimes at the beginning of shows at the Arcata Theater, Ron Onesti comes walking out at the front of the stage holding a huge American flag, and plays the song, The Star-Spangled Banner, by one of the guitarists of Metallica. That's the recording, and has his hand over his heart. And he makes sure that people in the audience, veterans and first responders, all stand. It's really a touching thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ron Onesti, I was at the Arcata this past Tuesday night, just 3 nights ago, Mark.
Okay.
It was the Heat of the Moment tour by Asia.
Nice.
One of my favorite groups. They were great, but they also had 3 other bands play with them, and they came on and played a few songs. One of my all-time favorite bands from back in the 70s, their name was Focus. They were known for Hocus Pocus by Focus. It included even a little yodeling, but it was an amazing tune, and it was a top 10 hit. Many people remember it. But by 1975 or 6, they had another album out, and it was called In and Out of Focus. Mother Focus. Mother Focus. And it had a song on there that always seems to fit the end of this program, because it fits now. And I thought it would be fun. We're going to play it right now. Here's Focus with a song called I Need the Bathroom.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 10 o'clock.
With your AM 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan.
Brought to you by Sky Rizzi.
In an update to a story that broke on Tuesday when 2 people were found dead following a shooting on Raymond Street in Elgin, police have now identified one victim as 47-year-old Gina Benfield. The investigation of the incident is ongoing. Mark your calendars for the annual Taste of Batavia and Block Party, which returns on September 1st. Join the city of Batavia downtown from 4 to 9 p.m. at the Peg Bond Center. $3 tastings of local flavors. The event is in conjunction with Batavia Main Street. Kane County Clerk John A. Cunningham is calling for election judges for the November 5th general election. You can earn $250 for serving. You can find details on the Kane County Clerk's website. With your AM 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk.
Life hack.
Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart.